It's fine.
Because you can.
Well, I do what I can, I do what I must. I mean,
We do what we must because we can.
Maybe Black
For the
Mesa.
good of all of us.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
deep,
I
man.
thought I had no
That's
time.
fucking deep.
Thing made. I will wait for this advertisement.
I will wait
Yes.
for the advertisement.
Advertisement.
Oh dear.
It can't be offensive because it's German.
Nobody
That's how
speaks
it works,
German.
right?
Could be evil.
Yeah, true.
Uh,
Yes. So true. So hashtag true.
It was one of the outcomes of the Nuremberg trials, is you're allowed to do stupid German accents whenever.
Yes, because it's not
I
racist.
can hear things.
The Italians
so that's fine.
also. Yep, you can make fun of the Italians.
Yep. Can't be racist to Germans.
Oh my goodness, my head. Ah.
And the Japanese,
Yeah, there we
that's
go.
more ambiguous.
It'd be less ambiguous if
Oh.
they stopped revoking their apologies.
Do I need to mute the stream again?
I'm sorry, we
No
should
comment.
definitely have started the stream with a discussion of are the Japanese white. That's how we should have started this, and I'm so sorry that we didn't.
Oh dear.
But yes, it sounds fine, I think.
This is terrible.
I mean,
Down with this sort
we
of
never
thing.
took.
Smashing, super great.
It's not like Britain's ever taken
Smashing,
accountability
super
for
great.
its war crimes.
Okay.
You know what? Props to Germany.
Yeah,
At least you admit it.
possibly one of the only countries that does. Anyway,
You get a new camera, Ray.
Did I get a new camera? I did.
Yeah,
Looks good, doesn't it?
it does.
It's definitely sharper.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Look
It's
at me. Now
sharp
you can see
as-
all the
you get some
flaws.
new lights as well. Have you got new better lighting, or is it just?
Honestly, no. I'm sat mostly in a dark room.
No, that's all
You know
right.
what it is?
Wow.
It's the sheer size of the screen. So if there's a white window open, it's just like, for example.
Oh
Yeah,
right,
we-
yeah, of course. You've got your,
Okay.
your screen that I want to get.
Alone
Mhm.
in a
Mhm.
dark
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah,
couch.
It's ridiculous. But
on
No,
this lighting.
there was a sale. It was the one of the Amazon like Prime Day type things. Also, hello, Matthew Brokenheart. Hello. But yeah, there was one of the Prime things was
Alright,
like
Matthew.
the camera. So I was like, oh, a 4K option for my camera? Yes, please. I don't think I'm streaming
What
in
is-
4K, but yeah.
Um,
That's a good
May I-
question. Let me go get that answer.
thank you.
What is love?
Not that I'm not going to buy a camera,
Baby,
but I
don't
just
hurt
I like
me.
knowing these things.
Yeah, me too. I'm like a details whore as well.
Yeah.
They give me comfort, you know. So when people tell me a
Other
story involving
dance
people, and I'm like, can I
are real.
get these people's names, please? I know I'll never meet them, but I just need to assign labels to the people you're talking
Yeah.
about, so I can track.
I'm
this
that
conversation.
I'm that guy that I hate at a gig who goes up to people and goes, "Oh, so what were you using for your solo tones? And oh, how did you mic up the drum kit?" And
With that
and
exact
like
accent,
when people
is
do
that
that to me,
guy's
I'm
But
like,
aye,
fucking go away, leave me alone.
why did you hook up the drum kit in that way, eh?
Is this everybody's accent now?
What
Also,
what
hello,
is this
Simon.
accent?
Don't know,
That
eh?
is
Like
the
all
that is the
accents,
Lewis
it
accent.
tends
if you
towards
want to
Indian.
know.
Oh dear.
I feel
That is
like
that
it's
genuinely is
racist,
the Lewis
but
I've
it's
accent.
definitely heard
people,
the
so it
accent
can't
before, I
be.
just can't pinpoint it.
I
know where he
guess
was
you're
coming from.
allowed to do that.
Yeah. Like, oh, hello. How's the weather going?
Aye, like, it's like you're really nice, like
What is
granny or
this?
something,
Aye.
you know.
Isn't it like a
Hello.
random Scottish
Oh,
village accent?
How's
That's
the
what that
weather
sounds
going?
like.
Yeah.
eh?
It's
Hello.
really funny. So when I was living in the
Ali.
flat, I phoned up my
You should,
landlord, and
yes.
she was like this like 80-year-old woman, and that's how she spoke. And I find when I'm talking to people with really strong accents, I almost
start doing
mirror
it.
them.
Yeah.
So she was like, I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to move out, I'm afraid. And she was like, oh dear, that's just fine. Is there anyone you know who'd like move in? I was, well,
Did you phone Robin Williams?
This is Doubtfire.
The ghost of Robin Williams picked up the phone.
yeah.
Oh, I'm just hanging about here.
Hello, children.
Too much. It's all right. It's Halloween.
Halloween.
Oh my god.
Right. So So let's start.
Yeah, just keep marking that bingo
Good.
card there.
Hello.
Starfinder, huh? What's
Good.
all that about?
So we're starting with good hello. Right, that's where we're starting.
Good hello.
Yes. Right, what was my intro? Welcome to Starfinder, the Fragments of Eternity. I am Ryan, the GM. This is session something, 119 I think it is. 119, yep. It's the
Wow.
24th of October, 2022.
Right, before
Happy...
we even-
No, Nico, shut up. Happy
no.
4th year of Starfinder. Because
This
dear
is
God,
important.
4 years
Bloody
in.
Nora.
Okay, okay,
4
Nico,
more
go.
years.
On you go, Nico.
No,
On
man,
you go.
no, because I'm the third right now. I'm usually the first, right? And then sometimes I'm the second because Colin, but what the fuck is Alex up to?
Right, so for anybody that doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, it's the order they appear in Discord. Vital
Yeah.
things for our...
I suppose that's
Or
never
Starfinder.
actually been explained ever.
It has been explained because we
I
have made
don't remember it didn't
failed
happen.
references.
That's because you're
to it, so
usually
we
late to
stopped-
the games, Callum. That's
Ah,
why.
yeah.
Yeah.
True that.
You're either late or really early.
And you've always been Zig.
Mm-hmm.
Like the quest is always for the top, not the bottom.
Whereas
Oh,
this guy has all sorts of variations of
Except in
Badger. I cycle
Yeah.
through various different obscure references to serial murderers or fictional vampires. I'm currently Janos Scorsese for anyone who's interested.
Or both. But did you
Or-
know Gary Oldman was actually the no? Oh, sorry, I was about to do some libel.
Dude, he was actually
Um,
Jack the Ripper, who knew?
Oh, slander. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Welcome to
Allegedly.
Slander Hour.
Allegedly. Welcome to Slander Hour.
Oh my god, I actually read a book in which Jack the Ripper was killing vampires. Oh my
And was
god.
Gary Oldman?
No, Anno Dracula.
Right.
Tim
Anno
Newman,
Dracula.
Okay.
Focus as ever.
Blah.
That. Also,
I'll do my intro then.
yes,
Yes,
so
you should.
yeah, do that.
I'm Alex. I play Weird, the android mechanic, and I would be glad to be the first here to give my commiserations to Penny Mordaunt, and better luck next month.
Nice.
He's-
Nice.
The man's got a point.
I
Like,
definitely
like,
have
well,
no
like,
opinions about the government.
Malarkey.
Good evening.
Yes,
I-
we switched restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
I also
Damn.
have no opinions. Just broadly, I don't have any opinions. I merely have logic and reason. I am inhabited by the ghost of Christopher Hitchens.
Christmas
Um,
past.
I refer you back to our previous 9/11 discussion.
Please don't.
And the spirit is strong in me, and when I say spirit, I probably mean like gin or something. But no, I am
Like a
Colin,
gin
and I
or
am
gin?
playing. Yes, and I am playing Lyco Quint, your sneaky, spooky space cop slash. It's you know what? It's complicated, but he's sort of an undead man, and he's sort of a cop.
So welcome Alex to the chat as well, or Alexander.
Hello.
Hello.
Long
Lads.
time no speak.
I've missed you too, Alex. And you,
Aw.
Alex, obviously.
Thank you.
Oh.
None of the rest of
Bongo
us
card
know.
is much better. I like that a lot.
No, Colin. Anyway,
I don't even know what the problem. Oh no, actually, no, I do know what the problem with that is. Okay.
so moving swiftly on.
Lads. How's it going?
Lads, boys.
Lads,
All
boys
right.
and lads. It's your boy. Dollar Nico. Coming at you as Zora, the Vest Captain.
$2 Nico.
Dollar.
Dollar
Big
Nico.
money, Nico. Yeah.
Ah,
The time away has really given us an opportunity to reflect
and change
decide-
nothing about
do
ourselves.
absolutely nothing differently. Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah. Remember the good times and relive them now. Hello, I'm Callum. I'll be playing Zig, the mystical space rat from the sun.
Thank you.
Isn't that nice? Like a lovely young man with a very nice, solid, normal intro.
I did my best.
I
We
appreciate that.
appreciate it.
It's just completely normal. What are you talking about? That now, dollar Nico. That's the new
Dollar
name.
Nico, yep.
The
Let's just
Nico
leave
formula
his
is
name.
$2
There's no
Nico.
problem here.
Yeah.
I admittedly only found out today, because I have been so busy and not paying attention to the world affairs, that Liz Truss was even a prime minister to begin with, and then wasn't. So I've
Like,
learned
you
all
missed
of this today. So that's quite
To be fair, I can understand if you don't watch a lot of like television, which I don't, and if you were off Twitter, yeah, a couple of months you could miss that.
Yeah. Although I know someone who's got a private pension. I won't say who they are, but they did mention they were losing 10 grand a week under Truss.
Wow, that's
ooh.
pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. The stock market was having a great time.
Part of the business.
Is that
I'm
just
telling
they
you.
were earning 10 grand less or actively leaking the money?
Oh, because it's invested in index stocks to be safe.
Right.
Yeah, it's the pension is crashing.
Why is this not
But don't worry, I heard
Can I
today
just
that Goldman Sachs has bought a whole load of pension off sales because
Alright, brilliant.
the private pension market in the UK is about to undergo a catastrophic collapse, but they're not talking about it. This is fine.
There's only so much I
Yeah.
can say, which is very little, other than moving swiftly on.
Goldman Sachs sold a lot of their bad investments directly to their clients during 2008 as well.
Nice.
Proper blokes.
I'm enjoying this adjustment that is going on right before our eyes.
I'm enjoying it as well. It's accurate. It's an accurate adjustment.
Oh dear.
Am I though? Am I truly the ideal?
In one manner.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm not even gonna repeat that. Jesus Christ.
Yep. I like that half of what we say is like undecipherable
Actionable?
to the chat. Yes, I did.
Why
spend-
am I in the invasion? I just realised I'd clicked in the wrong game. I'm so sorry.
I'm amazed you got the right intro then.
Class.
Oh, I the. How have I forgotten the word Twitch while I'm looking at Twitch? I had the
There we
Twitch
go.
stream open. To be fair, it doesn't actually say Twitch on the main page
Okay, you've been
anywhere.
represented. There you go.
There we go. Dollar.
Hashtag representation.
Dollar Zora.
Dollar.
Dollars. That kind of works.
Dollar Zora.
Little did people know that Emmeline and Zora, briefly before going into the freelance business, tried a rap career. And of the two characters to do that, right? Like, you are the most skilled in that area to do that. Charisma primaries and our envoy powers and your space celebrityhood. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you
I
sold
form a Vesk Lashunta rap, like.
half of it's telepathic, it's the telepathic solos that get you. Oh dear. Fucking hell. How we doing? Right, that's 30. Okay,
How are we
that's
doing?
alright. Aye, we're doing okay.
It's not bad.
Everyone seen Halloween Kills? No, Kills? Ends.
Ends. So I did the speedrun version of it, which was, here's my spoiler-free version. I liked what they were trying and then bailed on. I don't like that they bailed
Yeah,
on it.
I kind of see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that's my very, very spoiler-free version.
I think I don't hate that they tried to. They didn't want to give people a complete missell. They tried to deliver on the promise of the title, while also doing something different.
Yeah.
It was about as brave as the
Hello?
13th Halloween film
Hello.
could possibly have been.
Is my audio okay? I've not even asked that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
on the stream, I mean.
Oh,
It's
I have
unmuted
assumed
again.
so far, because people have actually replied to me in chat, but is it like quieter than normal, or is it
Yep.
I
fine?
think it's fine.
Okay, thank you, Alex.
nah, seems fine.
Solid.
Okay, just I wasn't sure. I think it's my web camera's microphone that's picking me up, but who knows? Who can truly say? Anyway,
This is it. Multiple audio sources on Windows is very annoying.
it is. It is very, very annoying, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Where are we at now? So session 119 starts, because that's something I do. I feel like there was far more that I used to cover in an intro. Do you know that way? But it's been too long. It's in the past now. So I don't know either. I think the next question that I normally ask is, what did you remember from last time?
We were
That's,
going to
that's a tough question, man. That's a tough fucking question.
No,
what was last time? I think that should be the question answer.
we were going to interview Shakus, or at least I was, because of the Vesk cop conspiracy, and oh my god, I've forgotten his name. The boss had a secret fleet. Babak, thank you very much.
Yep.
Had a secret fleet created in conjunction with Vesk, which seems to be almost an extension of the his lot with their mouths.
The Kasathans?
Kasathan, yes, almost an extension of Kasathan power. You knew what I meant.
Yeah, I got there. Yes, Nico, look how close we are to the finish line. Let's not make it more difficult than it needs to be. We're nearly there, bud.
Good. I'm there.
We're nearly at a new game with a better system. So close. Oh
dear.
4 more years. I can hear you, Alex. I hear it in my soul. Oh.
I thought I was going to name my firstborn child Starfinder.
You should. It's a good middle name, if nothing else. You know?
I'm taking offers. It's
What about just like Starfinder: The Fragments of Eternity? It's just like a full name, like, you know, double barrel it if you needed to.
Yeah. It's better than most of my suggestions so far. But,
I'm not surprised. I guess, yeah, officially on the stream, I guess. Congratulations also for that. Well done, you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I did a thing.
Did a thing. And we're all very
Confused.
and proud.
Yeah.
Confused and proud. Which is really the way that we always are. No? I don't know.
You even get claps from Alexander too. Yay!
Oh, thank you. So, I've really taken this game to the next level by marrying the failed player.
Yeah, and then providing a replacement future player.
Yeah.
Securing the reign of Fragments of Eternity forever. You were born from and into the game, thus you are bound to it.
And that's why they're going to be the first child raised with Vesk as their first language.
Fantastic.
Are they also playing a Skittermander though? That just was raised by a Vesk. Is that what we're going for, or are you picking something else?
Well, once I get the extra arm attachments.
I mean, if they have a like language acquisition, anything like Starfinder, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be impressive, quite frankly.
We'll run out of languages.
It's not a bad thing, just getting your kid to become the Tower of Babel, right? That's not the worst thing. Well, maybe, actually.
It worked out really well for the level in the book, if I recall.
Yeah, so now I think it's an app, as most things are. So
yeah.
At what point did things stop being programs and start being apps?
I have this thing too, because I call anything that goes on a computer a program.
Yes.
So the idea is that an app is supposed to be cross-platform, apparently.
Right.
But I think that's just nonsense, invented by people who want venture capital.
You know, like, I've been running into the same problem recently with my new job, because I've been like, what do I call it to people these days? A program or is that an app? Because some people are like, what's a program?
How much do you age yourself?
Unfortunately, usage is king, right? And if that's what it means in parlance, that's kind of what you have to say. But I don't want to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The one that I've got these days as well is a start bar, a start button. Like, because you need to have your mouse on it these days to see that it's called the start button.
Mhm.
They're like, you hit the start button, like, what's that?
You look for the big start on your keyboard. Yeah. Is that like the space bar? Yeah. I still like my favorite golden oldie though is still definitely the somebody 3D printed the save icon. Like that is just peak.
Oh,
I feel like that must have been a thing deliberately to wind up.
I assume it is, right? Like I would like to believe it is, but also maybe it's not. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's not. I said, "Oh, we'll play it by ear" to someone recently who was, granted, young, and they were like, "What does that mean?"
I mean, to be fair, I don't think I ever really. I understand what the idiom means. I don't know where it comes from.
I
never asked them where it came from. They didn't understand what it was.
Okay,
Right.
that's
Yeah, two different things. Like most people know, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. But don't necessarily
despite the
know.
fact that the origin of the phrase suggests you probably should.
Well, no, because the idea is it's a gift horse. You're getting it for free. If you look it in the mouth, you're trying to judge the age and health of it, which is a bit ungrateful. Because it's comes from a day when, worst comes to worst, you just knock it on the head and eat it.
I suppose.
As should happen with all horses, as the resident vegan.
But on the other hand, what about the Greek sparing gifts?
Depends on the gift. You hear that, D?
I was about to say ask Demetrius. Like, oh dear, yeah. Okay, so we're doing well. We're nearly 8. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I
almost.
imagine play it by ear. It comes from the
Music.
musical sense of playing.
Yeah, play it by ear. Yeah.
I would assume so. Like rather than
learning
having
the
it
story.
read from music.
Yeah.
I would
Like
assume.
Bach will just play it by ear.
Did you say Bach? We'll just play it by ear. That's what I heard. Yes, welcome to the chickens of eternity.
On my bin, there's a sticker that says "Get off my back."
That's good.
And it has a picture of the Johann Sebastian Bach on it.
Yeah, nice.
See, Bach could do it. Beethoven less so.
Well done.
Thank you.
So, what do you remember from last time? Interviewing Shakos. Babak's
something,
fleet.
The Night of Dying.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I had a big comprehensive plan to deal with that, and I've forgotten what it is.
Yeah. I remember that when I read the title of the last session.
Plan.
I made arrangements. Do you remember her saying that? Oh, look how
vaguely.
Honestly, you could say just about anything, and there's like at least a 30% chance I would go, "Oh yeah, that sounds about right."
That sounds like something we would say.
I just remember Bad Cop, Worst Cop, and the what's it called, Reactor, and everything after that. I just can't remember. I cannot remember a thing after Bad Cop, Worst Cop. Really can.
That is. I re-listened to that not that long ago because I can't remember who it was with. I genuinely can't now because my brain's fried. But like, yeah, I remember going back through it just for the very fact that I was absolutely tried. I tried to explain how it went so badly, so quickly in conversation. But like entertainingly bad, obviously good bad. Oh god. And then listening back to it, I was just broken laughing. It was just so funny. Just the back and forth and the silence and then everybody gutting themselves laughing and yeah. Should just go back and redo that session, to be honest, that was good. Back to the reactor, we'll just do it again. Yeah, okay.
Let's go. Bad Cop, Worst Cop.
Yep.
Good and Worst Cop.
I just love how do we get through the gate? Can we teleport in? Can we wormhole in? Can we just phase through the wall? Should we blow open the wall? Oh, we could just ask Lyco to actually make it legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. We can just be appointed.
Imagine deputising us two fucking idiots. You're an idiot.
I don't think in the grand scheme of Lyco's decisions, that's the worst choice he's ever made. Like, right?
What is the worst choice I've ever made? Let's go. No, let's.
I don't know, actually. I don't think you've not made that bad decisions, Lyco, I don't think. I think. Can I think of the for some people, taking the job to kill Edgar, maybe, right? But that's more of a
Yeah.
plot-related decision rather than like for the lols. Beyond that, no, I don't think so. I think Lyco's been alright.
I to be fair, like, I think the situation with Edgar was definitely one he wanted to avoid, but I kind of think her hand was somewhat forced.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Edgar did not seem to be willing to see reason in that one. He wasn't going to back down, and
The fool.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if it's just
things didn't want to do.
I still think there's something more there that we never uncovered, because if it was just about a promotion, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Wanted her job, okay, fair enough. I'm sure everybody
brand, isn't it? But it's like
we did also put it in a bit to like primal hate, right? There's some like fucking
between the two, their two kinds, as it were.
Yeah. Some sort
possibly.
of, like,
yeah,
instinctual hate between them.
But even so, like they clearly managed to work together for quite some time, and yeah, like something I don't know. There was something off that we never got into, and I don't think she's ever going to provide an answer if she even has one.
It could be just like a cat and a dog, you know. Like you can take like just cats have always got a bit of fucking crazy on them, man. You can't get out of them, man. Like,
Cats are extremely neurotic creatures, and I love that about them.
Yeah, I think on Colin's point as well, like Emma is always super forthcoming with information, right?
I like that she is just quite openly a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know,
she is lawful evil incarnate. I feel in this game, right? She would be the picture on lawful evil.
Yeah.
Edgar, not so much. I think.
I think you have to remember, and I think some of these people do forget this. Lawful evil doesn't necessarily mean obeying the law.
Correct.
It means having a sort of code and a sort of attachment to order, rather than being I am a chaos demon.
Yeah, it's following like a set of like, as you say, like your own kind of code of honor almost. This is basically order and chaos should have been those descriptions personally.
Yes, I think order is better than law. Yeah,
because people do attribute it to following established other people's rules essentially rather than your own.
Yeah,
because a lot of people kind of attribute like chaotic, like good characters when they realize they're actually playing by a specific set of chaos, which becomes order, aka lawful. Yeah, that's why the alignment system's garbage. So
yeah, and an idea of chaos and order as being necessarily antithetical to each other is maybe on the surface, but ultimately chaos is in its nature predictable, orderly. Chaos is a rule.
Glad that's
why I like the Chaos Gods in Warhammer, because I think they embody really nicely the idea that what appears to be random and unpredictable in reality isn't. They're entropic. They're not anarchic.
Stay tuned for more. For more philosophical debates about the nature of the universe. Oh dear. What? Is that a typo or
however he says it?
Okay.
Ladder.
Chaos is a ladder.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Is that how he says it?
Right. Are we missing anything else from the previously on? Because we're nearly 8. I think we're doing okay for a previously on so far, right?
Yeah, you can fill in the blanks as we go.
Can I?
No.
What makes you think I know what happened last week or the before times?
I think we need to add this because I just noticed the typo as well. So in addition to the incredibly weird phonetic spelling, it's not just chaos is a ladder, it's chow is ladder. Which is just beautiful. So I think Monday Night Bingo needs
Yep.
Thank you, Alex. You've really contributed.
Oh, you've made Monday Night Bingo, so there you go, buddy. Along with Cryptid Trump. Yep, we'll just leave that there.
Trump cited their night vision trail cam was another one that I searched for. You can see it above, which is quite freezed.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, applying clown makeup on crying.
Anyway,
I was really hoping it would just be
can
the
I just
wacky
say as well
Phoenix
to the
in.
7 viewers that we have, thank you just for putting up.
I
with
don't know
us so
why.
far.
You're like,
Congratulations.
you're just listening to us narrate the absolute idiocy that we do behind the scenes, and thank you for that. I
Bits
appreciate
that
it.
we're allowed to narrate.
Yes.
Some of us do have to worry about their clearance. I suppose.
Yes. So anyway.
I was talking about just Twitch terms of service, but yes.
Yeah. I mean,
And that too.
Anyway,
But that doesn't.
anything else that happened last time?
Kill everybody. They decided to kill everybody, right, lads? That's
Probably
that totally
that was always Plan B, I think.
right, so let's just go Plan B, man. Plan A we shit you anyway.
I don't think we even really understand what Plan B was anymore. We got so confused by our own plans.
Yeah, I mean, I think the plan was to bait our glass in and then jump home with a. I don't fucking I don't know what.
I'm glad you brought it up,
know the bait.
Nico. Tell me the goals.
I fucking don't know what. That's a link that I need to go to.
There are goals.
Mm-hmm.
Game manager. Oh
In
wow,
your
look at that! I just
soul.
need to type in game
I
manager.
have literally lost the folder.
Just type in game manager into your Google, man. It's good.
I may have misspelled that. That's
I don't want your Google in the address bar. Yeah. Have a personal hand in a death game. Demogesh, that's one guy who's got to die.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he has it coming. Absolutely.
Aye,
He has
absolutely.
it coming.
Oops, I just screwed up somebody.
You just Control Z, Nico.
the fuck is happened?
Dollar
What have I
Nico.
created?
Bloody hell.
Oh no, that's not me.
You don't
That's
get
that's
much
fucking
change
weird.
for dollar
Of course,
Nico.
that's weird.
I've not done that. I was busy doing this.
I did that ages ago, I think.
Oh.
Oh yeah, mine's help and also kill Babak. To be fair, kill is not necessarily. It depends. Like, how bad is this situation going to get with the secret fleet? I'm deeply suspicious, but maybe that's avoidable. But also, yeah, gotta kill someone.
Somebody's got to die.
Yeah,
Alex,
I mean,
it has to go. You know it. Let's not bring it over. It needs to stay on that other goals page.
It's weird. Next point 5.
Oh my god!
I mean,
I forgot all about it. Oh, no.
The haunted Excel cell.
Look at the one at the bottom left. Oh my god!
That's horrendous.
But then you take my 75% chance of winning. What is that? If we
don't
go 1-on-1,
I know that I did that because I looked at the text. There's yeah, that was definitely me, and I know where it came from, but I don't know why I did it.
66 and 2/3%.
Because you can't help yourself, Colin. That is why.
Because you are an agent of chaos. We're all different chaos gods in this team.
All of you are represented by different coloured skittermanders.
I guess I am kind of Zinchian.
Yeah.
Stay on target. Goals.
Stay on target.
So, we'll get help and also kill Babak. Thank you, Colin.
And Matt visit influence, brackets or heart.
Which I just love that this is just like, kill. That's obviously Zora, Lyco, and Weird. And then we get to Zig.
Hey, my one doesn't necessarily mean kill.
It is I.
It could literally mean fix his heart, yeah.
Yeah, fix the night is death.
In the context of the conversation, sounds like you're making it happen now.
Yeah, that does sound like you're trying to kill the night.
And I does death. Well, unfortunately, death. Unfortunately, to fix their death, they need to die. So,
right.
I think that was.
Right.
I think.
So is your goal basically just cast Raise Dead?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
I'm just reading
I
it.
think so.
But I like that. That is a simple, achievable goal.
Mm-hmm. But knowing Zig, she'll end up in another timeline.
Yeah, I'm just reading through it just now, just in case, because I couldn't remember what my plan was. And
you
then
are correct, Ryan, though. It really does underscore the difference between our characters. And this is why I've always said, Zig is the hope. Zig is the future. Zig is the
He's
youth.
the sun. Yeah, the
He
warmth,
was
the
not
light.
irradiated as scavengers.
They had it coming.
He wasn't the hope for those guys.
They had it coming. Hey,
someone
has
to be the bright spark.
Yeah.
The hope economy requires a...
You are like the Billy Starks of this team. That's a reference that people who are too into American wrestling will understand.
So only Colin.
So only me.
He had it coming.
That's the audience that we try to appeal to.
Is it?
I am very much playing for an audience of one, yes.
Entertain thyself. That was your one and only commandment, right? So
Yes.
anyway, right. As tradition dictates, if we could all just read the general goals in whatever order and speed you wish.
Sorry, that's
As
plan.
many allies into plan Bs.
Enact plan
Oh,
of the
cover the banks,
bioweapon,
involve
and
that's
the bank's
wrong.
involvement in
Fire
Dwarf
next energy
Murder,
weapons,
looking
bombs,
as
Oh, I
many
see.
allies into
Looping
plan
Looping as many allies to
B.
Plan B needs to
Anti-aircraft
start.
Listen,
Background
Wales
fire
telling
next
Bone
energy
Sages
weapon.
and Hourglass plan.
Enlist Zendaya's help in bringing Bone Sages into Anti-Hourglass Plan.
Thank you.
Uncover the bank's investment.
Oh my god, son crap. I'm really sorry, I'm pausing a second.
I started reading the completed goals and realized that was wrong. So
Yes.
I was a little behind everyone else.
Okay.
That's
I was going to try and take part, but then I had like this massive cramp in my leg, and it is still sort of ongoing, and it's not fun, and I don't know how that happened, but there you go.
If you
Wiggle your
could,
toes
stamp your
too
foot.
much potassium or not enough
fucking
potassium.
hot
Never remember which.
for a split
Rub
You
a
know
second.
banana
what? I
on
haven't
it.
had many bananas in the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
So
That's
If
not
you break your
euphemism.
arm, you won't be thinking about your leg.
Well, that's probably true.
Don't worry, I'll get some bananas in for when you come and visit.
I appreciate that. I do like bananas. I've been having more like clementines and satsumas and some plums.
I was just thinking about having some sent up to me.
yeah.
I've been eating a lot of noodles.
You really are the one, aren't you?
He's just living up to his username, right? Anyway.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, that was beautiful for the goals, by the way. It was like the perfect kind of like conversational murmuring background sound clip that I could use in other games now for when people are in like busy locations.
And, yeah.
Just have
Amazing.
that mutterings in the background.
I'm going to use that, stick a rain sample on it, and put a really like
Like a
mid-height-
lo-fi.
Oh my god, Starfinder ASMR, yes.
lo-fi
Starfinder to listen and study to. Blank to.
Oh, and just have like subliminally writing about cryptids in your thesis and shit like that, yeah. Oh dear.
The
Anyway,
amount of times that I've had to tell people I don't actually believe in any of this shit when I start a conversation.
don't qualify it. Like, there's no need now, right?
Oh
We're
yeah.
too far gone.
Colin, when do we ever believe any of the shite we say?
Right?
True.
Like, we're literally here to play a make-believe game, so I feel like it's all in context.
Wait, what? This isn't real?
It's fine. So, enact plan with the bioweapon. That's relatively straightforward as a goal, Nico. I don't know how that's I thought you were on board with that plan, right?
Enact pain with the bioweapon.
Sure.
Plan.
It's
not
definitely
pain.
this part.
I totally read it as pain. I read it as pain the first time.
I thought that was a bit.
I read it as pain by accident,
Oh.
and I was like, "Fuck it, it works." Like I
You
wrote,
could
I just
use to
wrote it.
resist his comedic senses.
Yes. Oh, so then we have enlist Sindail's help in bringing the Bone Sages into the anti-Orgolith plan.
But I think, if I recall, we were a little bit suspicious of his involvement with the fleet, right? Like there was some sort of suggestion that he was maybe a little too on board with some of the stuff that was going down. So I'm kind of cautious about that because we don't know exactly how much he knows. And alternate universe him.
Was Cinderella at the end of the universe? I'm trying to remember now.
When
it was,
at the end
it was
of the
him in the
universe.
other role, right? It was him in like the
Yes. So in the other, like in Query's timeline, it was Sindail on Octurn.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
And
right.
you
he
sort of
wasn't
wondered, is that
he
his
wasn't a
best
Bone
thing?
Sage, remember, either.
Was Zig
Is
at
it
the end of the
perhaps,
universe? Or was that
suggest
just
his
me?
motivation might be other than it seems. I don't know. It's hard to know how much you can read into alt universe people. Read into our universe people from the other universe, right?
Yeah.
Their equivalents. It's hard to know, but there did seem to be some overlap.
Yeah, like we had obviously the Emma O, like in the kind of Babak role, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Like where there was some like weird, like changes. So yeah, very odd.
But equally, like it transpires, Babak is shadier than we anticipated. Emma O, while not a good guy, has at least been willing to work with us. Like it does suggest that maybe there's some continuity, even if it's not complete. It's not like you've gone to Earth 3 and everyone who's good is evil and evil is good, vice versa. Yeah, you know, it's more like there, but for the grace of God, go I sort of thing.
Yeah, like it's Uncanny Valley almost as well, right? In a lot of places, like it's almost the same. Some things are different. It isn't just the Mirrorverse. So yeah.
Which is a dumb concept, and people should stop.
Yeah.
I'll say the same about the universe.
Yeah. I mean, I've got rid of one in this game at least. Do you know what I mean? So we're working on it, folks.
I trust in our ability to get rid of another.
Yeah. Bunch of casual nihilists that we are. So we also have then build/acquire the negative energy weapon bomb ? Still on board
Yes,
with this
that
plan?
was a suggestion that I made to our resident mechanic, because we have a perfect delivery device for that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's only good for certain people. And that's not going to do shit to Glass, is it?
Well, possibly. We don't know. Because while he's certainly very capable of dealing with the undead, does that mean he's equally capable of dealing with a blast of negative energy?
I mean, I will highlight that Urgalas is still one being. You just know that much. Like,
yeah.
And the Bone Sages were obviously powerful and scary because we know that the big army of Vesk people weren't eager necessarily to go up against the Bone Sage and their army. Wouldn't stop them because it's their job, but at the same time, it wouldn't be the most eager fight for them, as we know from like Zora's exploits in the past. When it comes to things you've learned about Urgalas and like Sindael and the Bone Sages and such, like maybe through like Ramasethu and whatnot, you do know that Sindael kind of hinted at the idea of the power being like a pool people can draw from.
Yes.
And it may or may not be.
Which actually gives me some interesting theories about what's happening with his transition to not humanity, but living. He's in a sort of Barai state himself now.
Him being Sindael, yeah.
Yes, I should just say sorry.
That's okay.
Pronouns are sometimes unclear, it turns out. But I have been getting progressively less like what I originally was, while he's progressively getting more. And he sort of... Yeah, like his process of becoming alive again involved possessing me, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a degree of trading places going on here.
Could be, yeah.
Because he is looking to sort of sap from that pool, he is wanting to become more alive, and also he probably just wants to restore his people to life in general. That does seem to be the case, right?
That was, like, I don't know if he ever explicitly said it, but it was definitely explicitly implied.
Yeah, it seems to be the purpose of the whole Barai experiment
yes.
to begin with.
Yeah.
And he is clearly his own sort of main lab rat in this, aside from other sort of reverse main lab rat, me, who is going through the opposite process, because he is essentially acting as a catalyst to, like, I don't know exactly what the relationship is, but it definitely feels that Lyko is getting progressively less human and more dead, and he's progressively getting more Elibrian and less Eoxian.
Yes.
Someone take down that what you like, or just Colin just said about Lab Rat. There's a really good band name in there. Just go back and pick up on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Secondary Lab Rat.
Secondary Lab Rat? Something like that? Okay.
Yeah, I think
that's quite good, yeah. I'm feeling it, yeah.
I'm on it.
Thank you.
You don't need another band though, Callum. You know that, right?
Don't step in his fun.
I never said he shouldn't have it, I just said he doesn't need it. Like, there's a difference. He can have as many as he wants. Anyway, so
enjoy your youth.
Yes. Well, you can't. No.
Enjoy my too youngness.
Yes. Too youngness before you become youngness. Yeah.
This year,
you're much too young, girl.
Well, I think the crux of the plan was Lyko, being Barai as all hell, is immune to negative energy. Most living things aren't. Thus, yes, good idea to attack the living thing with a mass amount of negative energy to see how they cope, if at all. Yes. There is I know that this was spoke about randomly, either during the wrap-up chats or after the game, or before the game, just in musings. You did speak about the concept of did he go after the Bone Sages either out of dislike for what they've become or because of it being a threat to him? Right.
Yeah, you have to wonder if he is aware that they could reverse their process and therefore sap his power.
Or even just the idea that maybe negative energy isn't great for him, right, as well.
Yeah.
There is that option too. There is so many different ways to interpret what you've learned.
If they could if they could reverse the process, surely he'd be quite eager for that, I guess. But then maybe, well, that's only some of them and he wants to fix their whole world. There are various ways you can interpret it, but it definitely seems like, shouldn't you be trying to work with these people?
Yeah, you would think so, right? It does seem like
but
there's a hatred involved, right? It does seem impassionedly disliked, like a disgust.
Which is why I gave the little gift to Zig, just in case.
Do you want to remind everybody what that was?
Well, so Zig obviously has a long and storied history of very successful brain linkage with people.
A well-documented history.
Yep. And I have some experiences as a Barai undead that would probably be quite unpleasant for an individual who has what seems to be an extreme revulsion for the undead, namely the experience of becoming one, which I think would be traumatic for most beings, but I think it would be, all the more so for someone like Urgalas. And so Zig, being the person who had the big run-in with him, where he seemed to have killed Zenaida. It was were you teleporting from A to B when he sort of intercepted you? Was that what happened again?
It stepped through the door, right?
We were going to Zenaida's vault, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
And he just intercepted that whole hingamadoodad.
So you got to think well, if that's something that he is that's maybe a role that Zig is the most likely to be in, because he's the teleporty one, because he has the best relationship with Zenaida, then Zig's probably the one at most risk of being intercepted again. And also, he seems to be one of the ones that interests him because of some of the stuff you've said about what you know about the vault. So the chances are the one he's going to want to sort of interact with is Zig. So I wanted to give Zig something that he could use as a sort of, maybe just a way to sort of temporarily, not take him out, but stun him, unsettle him, give yourself a moment.
Leave enough of a window for action.
Yeah.
Create a moment of opportunity.
Yeah, just buy yourself those extra, that beat where you can go, right, I'm teleport back out here. Thank you. Bye. Ideally, but obviously, there's no way of knowing how well that'll work. I think it might just work though.
Yeah, it's a very good thing to, given that you know the seemingly repulsion to the undead that Urgalas has displayed in his approach to his now undead people, considering he's wiped out most of them. Yeah, it would be a good thing to mind whammy him with, right? Because that would definitely, I feel like it's almost guaranteed to work, right? That isn't GM speak for it's just me speaking from a narrative point of view. Definitely feels like it should work, right? This would,
and let's be honest, who is going to find that pleasant? Basically no one.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's a case of the more things you have to try, the better off you are, regardless. If you take
Options
40 shots in the dark, a couple might hit.
Exactly. So it's not a bad plan, right? There is a lot going for it. You guys did put a lot together, and it isn't me just saying please rush to your deaths, because I wouldn't stop half of you at this point. It just wouldn't. I feel like if I go down the Discord order for this, it would just become apotheosis, sweet release. So I mean, possibly Lichdom, not sure. Like Glorious Valhalla.
Lich Cop does have a ring to it.
Yes, Lich Cop Season 2, Lich Cop in space. Obviously, as I said, Glorious Valhalla for or Lizard Valhalla for Nico and Zora, and then I guess just potentially just other apotheosis, maybe becoming another Radiant Supreme, maybe just becoming an egg, maybe becoming Sindel. We don't really know with Zig yet, do we?
Zig becomes the sun.
Yeah.
I was about to actually literally say that. That was literally the words I've been coming with. Like, the exact
The
words.
new sun.
I mean, he has been calling himself the Burning Sun since his graduation, so yes.
I mean, becoming a sun might be very detrimental to the system, though, so please don't.
It's
Like-
now a binary star system with half the planets.
Yeah.
Look, it was either the
The other
universe
things, that's
ending
fine.
or replacing the whole system with a sun.
I am become Zigabyte, replacer of systems. Oh, always nice to get a reboot reference snuck in there. Okay, right, so we've got that. That's good. Okay, next. Uncover the bank's involvement in dwarf murder.
Oh yes, I just remembered what that's about.
I remembered that
We
thing.
went on our little mission thing and find the dead dwarf guy.
Yeah, we did a nice little side
We
quest.
had a nice little side quest. I forgot all about that. Oh,
Yep.
High stakes.
sorry, I got far
plots
too
here.
excited about that.
What was that, Alex?
I said high stakes plot here.
Yes. This is the stuff that Siren tells me off for, where it's like, why are you allowing them side quests? I'm like, what do you mean allowing? These things just happen naturally. Also, what do you mean side quests? Clearly this is main quest material.
For Lich Cop Season 2.
Yeah, Lich Cup Season 2 opens.
See,
right
the way
here.
it works is we do stuff, and then somehow magically our glorious GM turns it into the main story. And I don't know how, but it works. It's brilliant.
1 second.
I like the
Glorious.
idea that Lich Cop Season 2 is Lyco back as a cop on the beat, and he occasionally phones up his friend, the Sun. Um,
I'm wondering
something-
if you could shine some light on a case.
It's kind of funny to think about, like, even when you're talking about like a marshal, like high level characters just going about their lives.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a weird idea. Like,
do you sneeze and like summon 7 shadow monsters by accident, right? When you're the high level character walking around your daily life?
because whatever you choose to do, you're probably going to be far overpowered for it.
Yes.
well, I'm going to become the robot spider god.
Are the robots in need of a spider?
Well,
Becoming the
is your
granddad
plan
of
just
all
to like
maritime.
steal all of the drift technology back for yourself? To just undo what Triune did?
I will become Quartoon,
Yes.
the great balancer.
Or not Octoon, no.
Oh, that's suspiciously close to Octurne.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Or Octarine.
Yes, the power and color of magic. So we also have. I love how we didn't really go into that dwarf murder like plot at all.
Listen, let's be honest. It's a side quest. We're a bit late in the day for the side quests.
What we should do
Little bit low
is
stakes.
in like at our 40th anniversary, we should go back to that quest.
Emily,
You mean do an in-person murder
nonsense.
mystery?
Fuck
Dressed
it,
as our
we'll do it
characters.
just a wee LARP, just as the anniversary. Yeah.
I
Fully
would
dressed up
dress
as
as
a level
like
20
it,
characters.
except that
I
I
would.
don't
I've
think I
got
have.
I'll get a rat suit.
Right. Do we do a vote then, like a poll to see who you select
Oh,
for me to
no.
dress as? From
all
the
this time,
NPCs?
Zig has been your persona.
You're dressing up as Craig.
Okay. Yeah. CC. Yeah.
Yep.
That is also now. So I
Or
guess, is this
what's
just
his
Alex
name?
wanting all of us to become furries for the night? Is that what your secret game was? the
oh
whole
my
time?
god, what was the guy's name?
Describe more context for us. Colin.
Sparks.
It was!
Yes,
It was
Yep.
fucking Sparks!
I know Colin's head too well by now.
I just need to wrap myself in tinfoil and sellotape then.
And sell fake drugs in the back alley.
Just throw
That's
garbage
just Glasgow.
bags at people.
Garbage at the homeless. That wasn't Sparks. That
No,
was
that
me.
was
I can't
you.
blame him for that.
Sparks had more respect for the homeless than you did.
That's because he was one of them.
Mhm.
Where's Colin? Playing a cop.
Anyway, affiliations
This
aside,
is going so well.
I think it's going great personally until yeah. Anyway, so and then we've got loop in as many allies into Plan B. Needs discussion.
Yeah.
Who's actually an ally?
Right. So what I'm thinking that plan could be right is I invite like our allies and then we just shoot them all. Right.
All
And
the
then-
We've got the bomb. Yeah.
And then some shape, manner, or form, we can probably bullshit the fact that we're now the leader of each like separate faction, right? And then we just fucking done easy.
What's those
We are the
last
plan.
steps? This is like that thing where
I
Homer can't
just
remember
think
the
world
fire.
domination at this point, to
Like-
be honest.
Like, what's the song when you're in a fire? Something, something. Then you'll avoid catastrophe. That's what your plan
I'm just in
was.
it for world domination at this point.
Right. Okay. So you're a true
Yes, but
vest
Glass still
plan.
wins.
Aye.
Yeah, but like if the universe gets blown up because Nico's king, then that's still a victory, right? Glorious lizard Valhalla.
No, I'm just thinking
Ah,
that I was going to be better
Victoria.
at leading than half of these guys. So I mean, like, why don't we all just take a wee slice and be done with it, man? He's busy. Sorted. Michael can take all the stewards.
I mean,
And Eox, according to Lyco's theories about his development as well.
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, that sounds fucking great. Can you imagine the Great Steward, the Yorks Alliance, man? It's fucking undead cops. Let's go.
Wasn't
man.
that also a concern, the Great Steward Eox Alliance? I thought that
well,
was one of the
yes, but
concerns you-
only because
In the wrong
absolute
hands.
power's in the wrong hands.
Ah,
There's only
exactly,
one
man.
thing
Like
for
was
bad guy with
fine.
the Eox.
And who's the right hands, Colin? Is it?
Oh,
is it
I'm taking all
Lyco?
the vest, obviously.
That's it, absolute power corrupts absolutely, except
No
for
one.
like.
Yeah, absolute.
Oh,
I
I'm
actually was having this conversation with Alex recently. Absolute power is absolutely fine.
I'm taking all the vest. I mean, I can all admit that that's for the best, right?
I think it would be an improvement. Yeah,
I mean, given what we're working with, yeah.
I'd vote for him. That would be completely against the spirit of it.
Speaking
but I
about
would
that,
vote
why don't we just invite Matfa and Dimmelgesh, right, to a party and we'll say, right, you can deal with each other, right, and then we just kill them both, and then
A party.
I'll take all the vest for a wee bit, and that's that problem solved for a lot of people.
I love the idea of you hosting a party.
Yeah,
With Zora.
yeah, let's fucking
like
do it, man.
Can you imagine the small talk? You're here. Good.
Good, exactly, my bang.
run in terror.
I don't like. I'm eager to know how that plays out. I'm not gonna lie. But I just feel like that's also just like, was it the Mass Effect DLC where you just have a wee cocktail party, before the finale or after the I forget. Like I feel like that's where we're at now. We're just adding DLC content into the session.
It's like the anime, there's always like an episode near the end of the anime where they all have like a meet up and laugh about old times and shit, and then shit gets real. Like, except for like this party is to facilitate shit getting real.
That's to facilitate your ascension to being the second in command.
my
of the entire
temporary ascension,
Viscarian.
I'll probably go to jail like no long after the affair, but like fuck it, like at this point, who cares, man?
Also, why aren't you inviting the Imperatrix? Surely she'd like a party, right?
I don't want to fucking kill the Imperatrix.
Well, you cannot if you want to take over. You really, yeah.
No, this is just the beer hall putsch phase of his plan.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll
Is that on the
attempt it.
bingo card yet? Like,
Yeah, and then he'll go to jail for a little bit, but it won't really mess up his career.
We all know that the Imperatrix is like the king, right? I mean, I can't say the queen these days because we're in that age
Oh
these
my
days now.
And yet, Imperatrix itself is a gendered term.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
she who commands.
But I mean, like our king. I mean, like our real life king.
I don't believe it.
Like it's like a figurehead. Like we all know that it's actually like the fucking right and left hand that run everything, right? I mean,
and I think from what you have seen, like it
The
quite
Welsh.
clearly is, right? Like Matva and Demolgesh clearly are the ones that have been doing most of the maneuverings. How much influence do we think is actually you know, what's the word, like, enacted from the Imperatrix. It's hard
Well, I
to
mean,
say.
yeah, it's like a classical Imperial thing where it's like, yeah, in theory, the Emperor or Imperatrix is running everything, but in reality, your local governors are the people who can fuck your day up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Emperor's too busy, playing fiddle and having sex with their parents.
Mm-hmm. Standard stuff, It's a busy day.
Yeah. Italian things.
Wow. So, I think I just need to have it in a disclaimer that every time I say so, it's that my views are not reflective of the views of the players.
I'm sorry, if I say Roman, it's fine, but Italian.
Right.
Okay.
Is there anything else we need to, like, I feel like that's a very in-depth look at what has happened previously in this
Who
game.
knows?
Yeah, we're good.
Well, good. I'm glad that we had that. What did my notes
I don't
actually
think
say
we
from
argued.
last
I
time?
just thought if I sounded confident, it would.
Yeah, that's good enough. I've got on my notes, upmarket meal, private room, ? Spent to book restaurant out for 2 hours. Dinner with Tanida.
Will there be rad nudes?
Then, what else have we got?
Send radnudes, yep.
Gigabytes restaurant, Petabyte, and then we
90s
talked
texting.
about, was it Shylent Night?
Oh my god.
Because we talked a lot about restaurant names and puns, because that sounds like us. Then I've got a note here that just says Zig and Lyko with Article 1, but that just says next time ? So,
Article 1 was
Fixed us up.
Yeah,
Is that right?
She is an Android who works for the cops.
yeah. Like,
And a pilot. She's a high-ranking pilot, possibly the high-ranking pilot.
yeah, like, she is... Piloting you around was beneath her station. We did have that conversation when you were being, like, escorted, so it let you know that you were being treated with a lot of, like, deference in, like, your newly appointed position, joining the stewards again via Babak. And she was quite happy to let you know that as well.
Yeah.
That it's not that you were beneath her, just that it was interesting she was asked to do this for you. I think it was something similar to what she phrased it as. And then she got very interested in the actual details of what was going on from, like, the Kivallari case and stuff.
Yeah.
So we have
Perhaps not just being a good listener, perhaps listening for someone.
Perhaps. What else we got here? I've got Tanida and Zora dinner. Pleasant. Not all
fuck.
Vesk.
I cannot remember why I was taking it to dinner. I did take it to
Dying.
dinner, actually.
You'd be
That's
nice.
right. I took it to dinner. I remember the last. I remember it.
It's coming back.
That's good.
There we go. I remember it all.
Only
Fucking.
a 1 hour warm up, yeah. It's alright.
Yeah.
Calendar,
Almost like
you
had
have
like
to look
a-
forward to in your old age.
A eulogy dinner
Yeah.
/ like fucking.
It's where the title of the last session came from. I made arrangements.
Yeah.
Because you and her had that conversation about her plans and, like, everything you had been through, and yeah, it was really sweet.
Mhm.
A bit melancholy, but really sweet.
I remember on the. Oh, it comes back to me.
What else have I got? The Babak's details. Was it 12 ships? Is his fleet? I think he's learned that as well. That's details I wrote down. Seems to have been built over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
The Kasathans have seemingly
Afraid of their
provided.
stealth technology.
Yeah, they're hybrid tech. So the half magic, half tech combo, which is why it's harder to detect with either magic or tech, because it's, again, special. What else we got
It's
going
not
on?
wholly in one.
Yeah, so it is tricksy. What else have we got? I know that he's wanted to do obviously the Shakos interrogation. He's were investigating Babak. I think. Do you remember he's got like CC to look into that as well briefly?
Yes, but now he's under new management.
Yes, you remember that as well. Not to bring this back up, Nico. I know it's a soft spot or a sore spot for you.
He's all. Fuck, he's all. Fuck you. Fuck society. Fuck the dragon guy. Fucking.
Quite happy about at least his new job, so I think we're okay.
And like
You.
And like, so yeah, Mr. White Blossom, the White Dragon, definitely did say that it was a temporary contract as such. And CC was happy enough to do it. But then it's a wee shame because CC's happy enough to do anything that's new. Let's face it. Anything else that I've got in my notes? I think that's mostly my notes from last time. I think it was mostly almost a farewell, like an early farewell to Thenider, realistically. Yeah. Let's see what else I've got. What was in the previous session? Stuff about Dr. Helene's lab. Again, Article 1, Lyco sending Article 1 a message. Lyco and Zig break into Carhole. There was obviously, just remember the details about like the dwarf's death? Anything you remember about that?
It was
visible dagger
Yep.
of some description. No sign of like anyone else actually ever being there.
We observed that it looked very much like what you might expect if S-Gate had done it. You know, not necessarily we're saying that she did it because she seems to be in a slightly different capacity these days, but someone akin to her, another S-Gate, someone with that skill set.
Yeah, and for anybody not knowing what the fuck we're talking about, an SK is an agent of the Bank of Abadar, which is the kind of space bank / weird religion. The vaults may or may not be inside the god. It's hard to say.
It definitely seemed that way.
Yeah, literal Bank of Abadar. Okay. Anything else worthy of note? I think that is possibly everything. Just remember the Alice situation.
She's
It
in
got
a
really
fucking lab in somewhere.
Did we not get her back?
Oh wait, we did. Yeah, we did. Actually, I forgot about that shit.
And it was very confusing for Alice with her memory's not quite there yet.
And also someone else may have made another Alice.
Yes. Yeah, she has her memory's not there and she's back.
We were going to try and reincorporate the two, like to try and create some sort of
Yeah, we were.
even
Yeah,
Alice
that's
near
right.
Alice.
Because there was a bit of Alice in the fucking AI.
with Finn.
What was the name? With Finn. Yeah, yeah. We're going to try and see if that would patch up the.
Alice did a wee
spots.
self-sacrifice move and left the ship. She seemed to have left parts of herself in the ship's memory banks. That was then like incorporated into the AI that used to be called Finn. So Finn Alice became a thing for a while. You've had that.
Fortunately.
Yep, you had obviously Finn's Vesk appearance shaped into Alice's appearance. It was very uncomfortable for most people involved, I think, RP-wise.
Yes.
Alice was recovered. Yep.
He was reveling in it.
You're welcome.
I think we should know that when we say like the self-sacrifice thing, it wasn't just that. There was also in this sort of racism ethical questions, because it was about some ethical questions. She definitely felt like partly okay, I'll try and do the helpful good thing here, but also partly like I'm kind of done with this crew.
Like there was what would they do to me if they're willing to do that to query, right?
Yeah.
That was the main point she was trying to get across, like, or at least was in her head, right? That was the main thing that made her do this, right? I don't mind being that open.
And I don't think that I especially help matters with my response, which is just like, yeah, but fuck him, basically.
Yeah.
It was, it perhaps, if someone had genuine ethical qualms of the situation, it perhaps wouldn't have been the most reassuring.
But as you know, you have basically trained Alice since she was like user her main interactions with the outside world. God help her. Yeah. And I do miss the early days of Zora and Alice chatting about what is and isn't okay as just standard behaviour.
Fucking sucked.
Nurture versus nurture debate then.
They're set up to this RP, become a dad.
And what a dad. Yeah. Got Alex worse, yeah.
Oh, someone did.
Hey, I think Alex has done really well at this RP. He got a wife and a baby on the way, and yeah, I think it's been alright.
I'm just older and balder.
Well, the cost had to be spread out, right?
Oh, my beret, like a.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm the fucking picture of Dorian Gray.
Is that why you've never looked at each other? Okay, anyway, so yes, Alice is is she up on her feet yet? I remember that we had surgery essentially to try and reincorporate. Right, there was a lot.
Is that where we left her off? Is
I mean, it very possibly could have been
going attempting to be remembered.
I don't know.
I feel like
I want to say yeah, but
I feel like all the
could be wrong.
roles for that were done by our wonderful mechanic and probably Zig. I do remember that was things definitely were rolled because I remember it going pretty well, from what I can remember, and we were leaving it to be essentially.
Weird did roll a lot of computers engineering medicine, computers engineering.
Yeah.
Last time, so.
Okay.
To be fair, that just means it was a normal session.
Yeah. So, let's open on the ship where I believe most people are, and by that I mean half the crew, right? We've got Weird and Zora on the final hour. Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
It has been that long, to be
That's an
fair.
answer to one of them.
Okay. Do you remember where you were? This was so for people obviously watching. Our last session was the 22nd of March. Like, give us a break.
Yeah.
Yes, it has been that long.
Not that we're usually too much better than this, to be fair, but we're usually a little better than this.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. I was going to say I didn't realize that, but of course, yeah, because I started.
Yeah.
New work. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It's been a while. I'm impressed I've remembered all these names. That's what I'm going to say. I had one sheet of notes in front of me, but didn't have any of those names on it. Yeah. It lives on. So, Alex, you on the ship? Yeah, happy with that?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I'd be willing if you told me something else. I'm just happy to
No,
go
I'm
with
pretty
that.
confident we were both in the ship.
In Damagesh's bedroom with a knife above his throat.
Okay. How kinky are the
No, he was in
Vesk though,
black
right?
No.
You gotta give the fans something, Nico.
Stop.
Wow. So anyway, less of the bad lizard content. For Zig and Lyko, where were you last? Where do you remember last being?
I think I was just gonna either I was in the interview room or was about to go. So I think that's probably where I would pick up. I'm really struggling to remember that.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I was supposed to be. Was I supposed to be with Lyko for his? I don't think so. For his chats.
I thought you were going with Lyko. Because aren't you his transport?
Yeah, I was with him, but I wasn't going to be with him for his doobly-doo. But maybe I was.
Well, I'm not sure, but I certainly wanted you around in case we needed to bail, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you remember where this interview is taking place?
Is it on the bridge of our ship?
No.
No? Is it in theirs then? I thought it was in our ship.
It's on a ship.
It's on a ship. Right, so it's on a ship. That narrows it down a little.
Yep. A very specific ship. One that's been on the map since the start of the game.
Oh, yeah, it was in the Adari then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that where we left off? We left off with you
I
on the
thought, because
Adari?
I thought we dipped into the Adari to see him and then dipped away back to our ship.
I mean,
but no,
if you want to have
Adari,
done
then
that, like you can do, but like I feel like Shakos won't be on your ship, right?
Yeah, she'll be. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that makes sense because it does.
Also, if anybody listens back to the last session and this is all lies, I don't care. Then you know is what's important.
Before time.
That was March's problem. This is October time. Okay. So, we're going to open up on the 11th hour, final hour, not the 11th hour. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
So on the final hour, God, that took me back. Alice will leave the med bay, staggering towards, I guess, the bridge, where I'm going to assume the both of you are dealing with whatever's left of like the AI systems, and also attempting to make sure that the captain isn't attempting to pilot the ship. Ideally, that's probably a good idea.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're welcome. And
Excuse me. Pilot like an absolute god.
Fair.
I can't.
Unfortunately, not a god of piloting.
Yeah. Fly myself.
Yes. It's like that line from Thor, isn't it? Out of the two of us, which one can actually fly? And it's like, that doesn't mean you can operate a ship, though, Thor. Oh, dear. So good. So yes, we're there. Obviously, the door whooshes open, and then staggers like a kind of slightly disoriented-looking Alice, like rubbing her eye. Again, definitely looking on the more organic side of android life than we like, even more so than like Nick's ever looked as well. So yeah, and she kind of just looks. And what is she looking at when she walks in? What are you up to?
We're just sitting chilling, doing absolutely none of the technical work.
Just sat with your feet up, or standing majestically, just staring off into space?
Sitting.
Okay.
I only sit in company. Don't stand. Well, sorry, I don't sit for other people. But
Okay.
I'm sitting in company.
That's so backward. I love it.
I'm really confused already.
Nico may or may not be standing or sitting as Zora. It's fine. Is there company or not? Yes.
Sitting. Friendly company, obviously.
Why would we expect him to be coherent now, Colin?
If anybody ever tells him to sit, he doesn't fucking sit, alright?
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Okay. And weird? What are you up to?
Weird will be hunched over a regular sized computer, but he's got a hunch because
Yeah,
he's massive.
because you're a large lad. Yeah.
Where he's got panels off. He's got data pads hooked up to panels, trying to kind of piece back together some semblance of autopilot.
Yeah.
Before the captain gets bored.
Do you want to give us our first roll of the game back? And then we'll have some computers. Is that even a skill in this game?
Ooh. That is
It
a
is.
skill.
Yeah. Imagine rolling dice at this point. What's the point?
What are Dai Chi? What are these?
Ciao.
Ditchy.
Medicine. Remember that? The good times?
Medicine.
I got a roll of 51.
Perfect. So, that looks so bad on the dark mode version of the browser,
It
doesn't it?
does.
Yeah, I don't like that. Let's undo that. Everybody brace yourselves. There we go. That's so much better. Stupid dark mode with your inability to read content.
Yeah, it unfortunately isn't particularly good. Less bright, which is nice.
Yes.
Sometimes, but it's
It needs work still, and I hope it gets work, basically. Because I like dark mode options, I just want it to also be like usable. Yeah. So yeah, 51. Like you're probably just in the last stages of like piecing together. You've maybe just not ran the final like test of the autopilot. But you're pretty confident you've done everything you're likely to get out of it, right?
Yep.
Without just installing a new one.
Much like as big as possible.
What's that? Sorry.
Made it look as much like Zig as possible.
Nice. Oh, so you want it to be like a holographic autopilot as well that just sits in the chair?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely unnecessary.
Yep, perfect.
It's the add-on, but it has to look like a good pilot.
Is it going to be like color correct Zig, or are you going to make it like just like all pink or blue, or what's your choices here visually?
Like bright white.
Okay, yeah.
With brightness settings depending on how close you are to the sun.
Nice. So is it brighter the closer you are to the sun? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, excellent.
Love it. This is the important content we need.
100%. Why would we change the content quality now? This is what people listen for, or don't listen for, I guess. Maybe they're just hoping that the pain ends too. you know. So
Thankfully, this is the mashup.
true that. Yeah, yeah, true that. You can hand this one back.
You know this one back. I'm fine, man.
It will
Good piece
become
of
yours,
mind,
though. If you
lol.
kill Matfa, though, it will become yours,
It's
right?
got to have Batfa's deed, right? It's inevitable, right? We don't even need to talk about that anymore.
Sorry, the
So is
Event Horizon.
Diminish.
Let's give her her full title, yes. The Event Horizon.
Yeah, the Event Horizon and the Grave Epoch Annihilator are fucking deed. Technical term.
By the Abyss's hands. The
No,
Abyss will have them all.
I'm pretty sure Weird Ones, Matva.
Yeah.
I just said I'll end her influence.
Or her heartbeat.
I'm not committed to violence.
I'm absolutely committed to violence.
You're like
I'm
in a
absolutely
casual
committed.
relationship with violence. An open relationship with violence.
Can I go through this whole game without fighting a Vessi? Just saying.
It would be a little disappointing, I have to admit.
Have you not fought a Vesk? Bloody hell.
Nope.
That weirdly shocks me. I feel like I'd have used them more.
Yeah.
Oh well. We'll save it for campaign 2, Lich Cop.
So, but I would definitely.
Oh, 100% on board. Like, let's just play Starfinder again, right? Just same system. Let's just do it to ourselves. Fuck.
Maybe not right away.
Oh dear. Anyway,
Sounds for the truth.
yeah, session title: An Open Relationship with Violence. That is a good shout, Alexander.
I like it, yeah.
So, Alice walks on that, rubs her eyes, and goes, "So what did I miss?" Probably quite startling.
But whoa. You're up.
Are you?
How would I know if I wasn't?
Question.
What could you not remember before? Who am I?
Much.
Or do you ask her that? Who are you?
Aye.
She looks and goes, "You're oh," she starts clicking her fingers. The helpful one. What is it? Cece.
No.
And she just really over exaggeratedly leans forward with her shoulder and winks.
Oh, yeah. She's fine.
She finger guns like from the hip.
What's your last memory?
Leaving and then also being here. It's quite confusing. I didn't really think about that. What that would mean, because I didn't really expect me to be here with both my memories. So that's new.
At least they're just parallel memories from within the same timeline.
Well, I didn't really have many memories from when I was, not here. So, really, it's like one timeline's worth of memories.
But it's the same timeline. It's just different perspectives on the same timeline.
The guy just nods, like, vacantly.
So it won't be contradictory, at least.
No, I don't think so anyway. We'll wait and see. It might be, though.
Is there any residual coding left over from the other side?
What side?
The people who put you back together, or rebuilt you, redesigned, wiped you?
I don't think so. She kind of shrugs. We could talk about it more if you want, though.
That's the difficulty. I want to assess whether there's any thing that will be communicating our discussions back.
Oh, right, like surveillance. She says, like, all kind of conspiratorially. Oh yeah, I suppose that's something that's likely. I tried to kill her. Remember?
Which one?
In the cafe?
Yeah!
The
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you did, but you didn't. Who knows? I don't know how she works.
Yeah. She was super nice, though. That was a shock.
What?
She kind of gives you like a
Talking
look
the
of,
same
yeah,
lady?
like the big eyes and like, yeah.
Talk about the same lady?
Yeah, Narakis.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm kind of less
so nice.
inclined to want to like use our cannon on her now. She kind of like looks a
Still
bit
not sure why
almost.
you did that.
She was a threat. No, at the time anyway.
I'd
Yeah.
accept that personally.
She kind of looks a bit sheepish when you're saying that as well to her. You're like, do you want to roll? What is it? Sense motive. I know you probably aren't great at this, but yeah, let's see how it goes.
Oh my god.
Great sense motive. There goes a 19.
Yeah, nothing. None of this comes over. Again, Zora, you can probably pick up it better because there's a baseline you can work with that we're just deleted.
I would point out the worst I could get. 30.
It's amazing, yeah.
19's pretty bad at this level, let's be honest.
It's not for the Android though.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair.
Nico, can you roll for me for Zora?
Yeah, sure.
We'll just see how it goes.
I don't even know how my sense motive is, actually.
I don't know either. I don't think I've ever
I'll
asked you
do
to
the
roll
best
that.
at-
I don't think you've
It's
ever
the
cared
best.
about people's motives. You've just went at them.
I've not.
Wait, it's alright.
I guess I get an extra D6 on it because
Yep,
I remember
why not?
mechanics.
Mhm.
Sure. Cool,
Well,
there we
hey!
go. 54.
Yeah. You're picking up the old Alice when Nyx 5 used to be around. Remember that version of Alice? The one that was
That
like
makes sense.
into Nyx 5? You know, bit
Yeah,
bashful
yeah.
and such, playful, etc., shy. Like, you're getting like those elements back. Obviously, it makes perfect sense that Weird picks up on none of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Just,
Fair
you're
enough.
getting like that kind of like, so it is very much feeling like Alice again, right? Like, all of Alice, rather than just like some weird like new hybrid version, where it's her plus the Finny. So, kind of odds. And then, yeah, you go.
No, cool.
You happy there? Okay.
Yeah,
And then after like she kind of like dismisses her bashfulness, when she's kind of like looking between you and Weird, she looks back at Weird and like her face changes quite and goes, "Oh, also, you'd probably be worried about the Vesk surveillance too, then, right?"
Did they work on you as well?
Well, she kind of like stops herself and goes, "Well, I was part Finn, right?"
Yes, although I thought we'd broken the surveillance on Finn. But
No, it was just to say yeah, and she just kind of like awkwardly stumbles through that sentence in perfect Alice fashion, as if just like you can. Even you can tell she's attempting to reassure you that she feels that she is okay and not broadcasting. It may be a difficult stretch for you, but yes, you have spent enough time in Alice's company to know enough like that. You just don't pick up on the bashfulness about obviously you and Nick's fives. Like,
I guess I would just be like to Nix, to Weird, no Nix, to the names.
former Nick's.
Yeah, former Nix, ex-Nix. She seems fine to me. If you get what I mean, wink. Obviously,
Oh my.
he would not get a clue. He would not get this at all.
blink slowly.
Is there a performance skill?
I don't think so.
Nah,
Nothing like that, really?
nah.
God,
I think they just lump that under career skills.
But I would just be like, there's some things you need to learn about the living Weird. I'll just pat him on the shoulder.
Some
Which
might take
one?
that offensively, Captain.
No, I'm just saying there's room for improvement.
You don't consider androids living?
Yeah, Captain.
Um,
Androids are
I
alive.
mean,
How dare you?
right.
You're in a room
look.
with 2 androids currently.
Don't take this wrong way.
Then I wink at him.
Fine. There's something you need to learn about
Alice
social
looks
nuance.
excited between the two of you, and she looks between the two and just blinks. She doesn't wink individually.
It's fine, Captain.
Wait, weren't
We
you an
get to
admiral?
work.
Did you get demoted? Am I admiral now?
Technically we only have one ship right now, right?
Sure. I mean, technically,
True.
you know that the Azure Flare is still technically
Yeah.
part of the grander
Yeah.
fleet, right? It's just captained by Finida. You also have the 11th hour is ready for collection, right? Mm-hmm.
But that's staying away for everybody.
Yes, that's the retirement trip.
What? So fucking weird here, man. Can't trust them.
Excuse me.
Before I know it, I'll have fucking Finn, Zig, Alice, fucking the AIs jumping about my ship, right? Fucking tormenting me every night.
Yep.
Tell me it's not plausible. Tell me. Go on.
You know what you would do.
You can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh dear. Okay, yeah. Anything else you want to do on the bridge at all with Alice there, or are we cutting to a new scene? What is your plan? Your autopilot works. You technically have a pilot back. Remember, Alice was a pilot.
We do. Where was it? Where would we be going? We'd be going
You
to pick
tell
people
me.
up.
What is your plan?
I mean, what's the plan?
I feel, Nico, we had a very long chat at the start of this session to cover that.
We did, but where is everybody at the moment that's not here?
Well, I was in the
we've
toilet
got-
for a second there.
Yeah.
Right, Lyko is maybe
Lyko
eyes
and
on
Zigger-
the ship, maybe
Lyko and
Nos
Zig
on
are
the ship.
in the Adari.
Right, so we're going to the Adari to pick up Lyko and Zig. Oh no, wait, they could just teleport back to us. We're going to the fucking Triaxis, right? Let's go.
Right. So you want to go to Triaxis.
Right. Yeah, they can teleport back to us, right? I think that was the plan all along. Remember now?
So long as
Maybe.
Zig has his link to everyday, he can jump to you that's in the link. Yes.
And we still do have that, I'm sure.
Yes.
we
Because if you
had
don't,
planned
I just
for it.
need to write something new. So
No, we accounted for having it, so I'm assuming that we do. Because
Yeah,
I think
and
he
like-
promised us we left or something, right?
and also genuinely, I have no I don't have any recollection or reason for you not to have it. So
yeah, no, I'm certain we did plan around having it,
Mhm.
which probably means that we have it.
yeah, I think so. It makes sense because I'm pretty sure that was how we discussed you moving around easier. Like Zig teleporting you to what was it, Versus, and then wherever you went to, with Article 1. Yes. So
Yeah. I would just kind of go I guess I would Alice, first of the officers,
you know it. Winks.
okay, feeling up to setting a course to Triaxis.
Sure thing. Where's that?
A big
She just
giant
laughs
planet.
and then goes, I know where it is, silly. And then goes and sits in the chair. Is there still a Zig hologram on at the moment?
Yes, but I switched it to suggestion mode.
I don't know what that means.
Just just
Is it just suggestive zigs?
I
Like-
think it would
it's.
be responsive to suggestion.
Okay.
perhaps.
Okay, if that's the
I
case,
mostly mean I kind of subtly nudge it and so to point towards Triaxis,
Mhm.
just in case.
so you essentially want to command the autopilot to plot a course to Triaxis. That's fine. So by the time
Double check.
she goes to sit down and she goes, oh, excuse me, and then just sidles up to the hologram and starts tapping buttons and goes, oh, it's already done. That was easy.
See, back in action.
Um,
Roll your d6.
Just don't get a 6 this time.
Half a day, right? Because you've got a drift 2. If I'm remembering how any of the
Yeah, I
stats
think
of this
it's
game
right.
I
work. Yeah.
think you are correct.
It's just
Yep.
divides by 2, yeah.
Nice. Okay. So you can use jump into drift. Whoosh.
If we're wrong, we're all wrong together.
Yeah. The new now. Remember the new now. So over to the Adari. So we'll have a warm up scene, obviously, in the room first, the holding area, as it were. I think you were left alone with your thoughts together, and the thoughts that you are currently sharing together, because yeah, that's a thing that you have done previously. Yes. What are you up to while you are awaiting the, the meeting?
I'm probably quite quiet because it's a somewhat stressful situation, and I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna handle it.
Yeah, I think Zig would probably be pretty quiet. Maybe even just like meditating and thinking on how to prevent or undo people's deaths. I think is
Mhm.
what he's thinking about.
What's the room like? Is it fairly spacey? Spacey. It probably is quite spacey. Hey, spacious.
Hiyo!
Spacious.
Yes. Yeah, like it's you get the impression that comfort and like function is the Kasathan design. Things aren't necessarily like gaudy or opulent or
Comfort
anything.
and function combined to make cumption.
Cumption. Yes, it's a very cumption.
It'd probably be cunction. That's even uglier word. Yeah, so I would probably like after a little while, even though the seats are very likely comfy, he'd probably still like get up and pace just
Functional.
because he's in a slightly frustrated
Oh, that
place.
kid's got lots of gumption.
You're monsters.
Yep.
I love it.
So yeah, so I'm kind of
Look,
up and
kid,
pacing
child
around.
of a gender unyet specified. Look what your dad did for 4 years. Shows videos of Starfinder.
So yeah, like I think he's doing a lot of nervous pacing. Trying not to let on that he is nervous, but it's probably quite visible to
Lyco's
Zig.
the type of guy that would normally just chat shit, right? Like, casually. Especially with
He
Zig.
is often a talkative one, but this is a stressful situation.
So it's probably noticeable that to Zig specifically that Lyco is clearly like anxious.
Yeah, very likely is.
I think after letting Lyco pace for a reasonable amount of time.
One reasonable amount of time. Yep.
Yep. I think is there like a coffee station or?
Yeah, I think you've had drinks before. I feel like that was a thing you
Yeah.
did before. I think you'd like got Lyco a drink the last time, or Lyco got you a drink or something like that. It was very sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can just return the favor.
Yeah.
That's one thing that Lyco and I have in common is that we do a lot of getting people coffees.
Yeah. Good trait.
Yeah, I think Zig will just quietly head over, make coffees, take one over to Lyco. I was going to say put a hand on his shoulder, but that I forget.
Might
how
be
small
difficult.
it is.
I am quite tall.
Can't Zig fly? Like, I feel like
Yeah, he can. But that
seems
involves
excessive.
him entering like a blistering, like sunlight form, radiating the light of the sun. So he won't do that, but he'll just hand it over and say, "It's okay to be nervous."
He'll sort of look down at the coffee for a second, like then mentally reacquaint himself with the situation he's in and in the room, and yeah, it's yeah. Thank you for the. Yeah. He's doing a lot of sort of like looking up and down and around and like looking back at his coffee. Like,
Uh-huh.
geez, G's doesn't make sense because it's derived from Jesus, so I'm not going to say G's, obviously. It's
Desna's sake, I think we agreed you'd used to follow Desna.
yeah, the sort of pirate ear one. Yeah,
So it'd be D's.
D's.
D's
I
Louise.
don't know. This is.
D's nuts.
I don't know what exactly we can do to help her if this doesn't. I'm sure they're probably listening, but I mean, it's not like they're not aware that I want to try and get a positive outcome, my friend. So nothing to hide here, right? But I hate it. I hate it. I understand why they feel like they have to do things this way, but she played by the rules and she's probably going to get punished for it. She tried to alert colleagues to the situation going on. Yes, in an underhanded way, but if you have no system that you legitimately report to because the people that you legitimately report to are the problem, what can you do? I mean, whatever you think of this whole sort of gestures around Cassath and business, this whole fleet thing, it hasn't been done through the legitimate channels. It hasn't been done openly. And it's hard to see how she could have handled this correctly other than ignoring her suspicions. Of, not being correct. So how do I approach this? Do I how much will they let me say to her? Because if I tell her too much, they're not going to be happy with either of us. What do I give her to make her respond in a way that's helpful? I just don't know. I just don't.
I think Zig would take like a sip of his baby coffee and just say, yeah, it's shit.
Yep.
But try not to worry about it too much now. Can worry about it when we
Looks
go
at you
in.
funny.
No, try not to worry about it too much now. We'll just deal with it as we can.
Yeah, well, guess it is how it is. And I don't know how things got like this. How it all. Yeah, things took a strange turn somewhere.
Session 9.
Yeah. And I just wanted to cop. I found something I was good at, something that I cared about, and I didn't want to leave that job in the first place. I didn't want to do the various odd jobs that I did in the meantime. I didn't want to be a bounty hunter. I didn't want to be working with some of the people we worked with, but I did what I had to do, and it kept me useful to them. It kept me in contact with them. And then I get back in the door, and This is yeah.
Quick question: do we
Yes, Spencer.
know that the others are heading to Triaxis?
Here is a very quick way to find out. Others, see when you weren't in drift space before you jumped, did any of you think to use the psychic link to tell them where you were going?
Totally.
Okay, then yes, you know.
To be fair, the chances that someone just thought about it and
Yeah.
actually heard it anyway are very,
Yeah.
very high.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a wild, not so wild idea. I suppose I'll say this as Zig. Or maybe not. I'll say it in brain speak too. Like
I thought you were saying it as Zig anyway.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Here's this is in brain speak.
Mhm.
Here's an idea. Why don't we break the link and attempt to renew the link with Shakos? Was it not Shakos? What's her face?
Who?
It's,
What's her name?
surely it'd be Shakos, right?
Oh, Shakos. Yeah, okay. Well, I was right. Never mind.
Shakos Ali. That's her name.
Yeah, that's right.
But then,
It was the alley I was thinking about.
then we can return to them. We need to.
But I can take us directly to Triaxis.
Where Lyco technically isn't allowed, from what I remember.
Yeah, I'm
doesn't need to know.
discouraged from
People need
being
to know.
there. I suppose I could be there for a second.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be that upset.
They also probably can't tell immediately if you disappeared on the planet through teleporting, right?
Yeah.
That's probably not
Yeah,
something they've
that's,
got.
that's
Like,
kind of my my thought.
Okay. Well, it's
But I also
It's
understand
exactly.
that it's safer if we can teleport back to the others as opposed to going directly to the planet.
problem is if we do this, that's an unambiguous stance against arguably the biggest power aside from the Olibrian in the sector right now. This is an alliance of what is ultimately the backbone of the Pact world with a major branch of the Viscarium. This is
yeah, just for context, it's like the Adari, which are like obviously one of the more advanced and mysterious races of the Pact worlds. Very little's known really about most of their culture and stuff. They keep it very hush hush. The Splinter faction under Babak's command of the Stewards, realistically, because it isn't all the Stewards that seem to be involved in this plan. And then obviously the secret police of the Vesk. So
Yeah.
Of course,
This
the,
is brain
the,
speak,
the
right?
branch of the stewards that are in on it are the people in control, or at least some of them.
They all seem to be like,
So-
well, look at Article 1, right? She was, as I said, ridiculously high ranking for like her station, and she's still running around as a pilot for people. So yeah, they've definitely cherry picked the people that are. Remember the guy you went to see about something? I am in the steward office in Versus, and it was like
Yeah,
a mediocre role, because
and he didn't seem to be quite as in the know.
yeah, he seemed more like
Maybe
a kind of like just an admin guy. Realistically, they'd been just given a title.
Possibly also, it's like if you're someone that they trust, you will be on their side. Like I'm sure there are Babak loyalists.
Yes, and it's
And
not like,
people who he thinks would go against him, so he doesn't tell them.
and you've seen like from his record as well, like he has done a lot on the good column, right?
Mhm.
And the bad column has been so well
I don't think he's a
tipexed on.
monster. I just think that he has ultimately subverted the power of the Pact worlds for the
Yes.
purposes of his own people, which is not what it's intended for. If it keeps us safe in the short term, then maybe things don't have to come to a head now. But
Yeah, it's like an
That's an
ends
open
justifies the means kind of attitude he's been running with, and it seems like
And
What?
Lyko can get on board with that to an
This is
extent.
all a brain speak, right? This is brain speak.
Yes.
We're completely brain speaking all this now.
Yes.
But yeah, like
I proxy mean I heard it. Also.
So, well, let's clarify, right? If you want this to be in Brainspeak, it means you have to have delayed your jump to Triaxis to have heard it, because you can't hear it in Drift, remember? Drift stops.
retroactively.
yeah.
You can, yep, just want to make sure everything's clear, the timeline. You haven't jumped into Drift technically yet. This is obviously back
Maybe
a
it just
bit.
started as well about to press the button and then we're like,
This might have just been the
Well-
conversation we're having before Alice walked in.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Um,
timeline-wise.
I think it's reasonable that it would be somewhat limited in terms of what we could have conveyed to them.
I
But
also
if we
like the
have
fact that it's very typical us, just having us start with those two, but then jump to use two and have it
Yeah.
happen earlier. Makes perfect sense for
So-
us.
It does. It couldn't be better. I mean, it's Zig after all. But okay, so I think we should probably out of character. I'm going to say the vote from Lyko would 100% be we can do this, but only as a backup plan. Like, let's not make it
Yeah.
obvious. Let's not go in there and just immediately like this is something that I will try and finagle. Because I think if you walk in, you're probably not supposed to be there. That's right away going to be an issue.
Hmm.
So that's Lyko's stance anyway.
I mean, I was kind of jestingly joking about it earlier about killing fucking Dimmelgesh and just taking his place and then going to jail later for the consequences. But it's actually not a terrible idea.
Sora just saying this now in Brainspeak, or like?
Oh, but I was like, let's get out of my character, but I could put this in Brainspeak. I could put this in
I just like.
character.
I like the context shift. That's all. I enjoy it.
Well, we talk about what we talk about. What's this?
Well-
Align with Vesk and stuff. Because I mean, I've really been thinking about this, and I mean, kind of running out of time. We can't really be affording to be bickering between ourselves. We kind of need everybody on the same page. How about this is like a bit extreme. Maybe nobody will like it, but how about we get rid of Dimmelgesh ourselves and I'll take the consequences later.
I mean, I don't think any of us are particularly attached, so
Yes, but won't we all face the consequences as accessories?
Or peripherals in your case.
I feel like the Vesco, if it comes to light, the Vesco just want their Vesk pound of flesh.
Pound of Vesk. Also session
Pound of
title.
Vesk. I mean, it's not dead certain that I go to that any bad repercussions happen. It's the Vesk after all, but
you think they might respect the might makes right?
perhaps. But even if not, I'm willing to take the fallout. It's better than universal destruction and self-destruction via fighting between ourselves before universal destruction.
I like to
That
avoid
makes sense.
fighting between yourselves and civil war. You're proposing a coup. Like,
It's
Yeah,
it's good.
but it would
insane,
diffuse.
but also
It would diffuse a lot of the situation.
fuck it.
I mean, what else are we going to do at this
Captain,
point?
if anyone could assassinate a high-ranking member of the Viscarium and simply take their place, it's probably you. You have the clout, so I guess you just use your judgment.
It's the nicest thing you've possibly ever said to me, Lyko.
It's like it was sort of like I'm not going to say anything to that, but Zig probably notices him nod.
As we know, nods
like,
transcend the
fair.
telepathic link, as we know.
Um,
Any other comments on that conversation?
I think Zig's just drinking his coffee at this. He's not got
Hmm.
I mean,
much
it will be
input.
hard to invite him to dinner. But I'm sure we could probably meet him on his own terms. There's ways that I'm pretty sure that I could spin this at least temporarily.
How would you do it? He's probably quite well protected.
I mean, we're not exactly incapable ourselves at this point. I'm sure we can handle him and a few of his guards. The main problem is letting nobody else see it. Preferably try and get him off the ship somehow, but
Well,
Plausible deniability.
good luck.
nod. You hear the creak of the neck.
Mhm.
Mentally.
It's been well established in this campaign that works. We know that.
Yeah. Mental nod.
Do we have any weaponry from other people? Do we have any steward equipment?
I guess you
mean-
could have quite quick.
I mean, I was gonna. How did you feel about that, like?
No, not a good idea right now. But
Man, if
he is working with He is working with Matva,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So
And who's Matva's former prodigy?
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I know Matva gets all cushy with the Vesk after all this comes through as well, if she'll be deemed a traitor, because she
It
kind of
depends if you're going to be in charge of it.
I mean, if you get rid of the guy who labeled her a traitor, in essence,
No, but like,
Hmm.
at first she wasn't a traitor, but she kind of is at this point.
Mhm.
Like,
But let's look at it
she
from the
was-
might makes right
Oh.
perspective again,
Callum?
and the
Yeah,
magical
sure.
sound of Zig.
Callum?
Oh my goodness.
I think if you were able to usurp that position, I think you would have the capacity to just reach out and try and make amends and clear up the misunderstanding, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Would you want
That's
to,
true.
though?
I
That
don't
isn't
know
me
about Matva.
twisting the story, just, yeah, like...
No, I mean, I don't know about Matva, but again, we can deal with her later. I would deal with her later.
Well, like, what's
Yeah.
Sora's position on Matva at the moment, then, right? Like, if you did take out Demogesh, right? If you take out Demogesh, do you want that to be an issue? Like, do you want Matva back in her position previously, so that you've just replaced him, she's in charge of, like, her faction that she always was, you know she likes you, right? Like,
Kind
that's
of,
not an
like,
issue.
she's a great military leader, but it's always in the defence of like need a bit of a regime change, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like she's like the person you would want about like in a war sense, but
And you've
not
got
the
a,
person you
you've got
want
a whole
leading
load
here.
of information on her about her like alliance with the stewards and stuff, right? So this is stuff you could take to the Imperatrix if you wanted her removed. If you weren't going to do it by killing her, right?
For the moment, I feel like working with her is the best plan. Like, and yeah, like it's something that Zora, like you said, I could bring to the Imperatrix and be going like, right here, she's great to keep about, but pretty shit for the whole like, let's be a bit better.
Like she isn't really in line with the Imperatrix's like grand design for the Viscarium, really, is she? Unless you see Demogesh being a block to that design. Because it seems like those two got so wrapped up in their own aspirations and saw each other as stopping blocks to that. I suppose that's the problem when you've got two second from the top.
And to be fair, if we can stop this war, like, or this like all gone down with the Vesk like suicide running into and a giant Librian, then it's a win. And I can probably just go, look, this fucking idiot was about to suicide our whole fucking fleet.
Mm-hmm. For nothing, like no actual glory, right?
Yeah.
It'd be different if it got
Sort
you
of
the pact system, right? Then the Imperatrix would be like, sure, kill them all, get me the system, glory to the Vesk. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely ways that can be spun.
Oh, yeah.
Way that I don't actually get out in a bad.
Also,
situation,
remember, like,
I feel.
Lyko isn't wrong when he says, like, Zora has a lot of clout. Like, you have a lot of political capital, right? You are space famous as a war hero. That is something you can throw your weight behind. Like, and remember, getting a promotion in the Viscarium is by getting rid of who's in the position and being better at it, right?
Mm.
So, usurp's not really a word. It's kind of the same as promotion, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Self promotion.
Yeah. So,
Taking the initiative.
yes.
But no, there's definitely
Carpe
ways that can be
jugulum.
spun this that would- if everything works out properly anyway, there's definitely ways that this could be spun to better. Like for me, whatever.
So
Yeah.
that's your position with the
real-
brain speech, yeah.
And I'm liking the idea about using some other kind of weaponry, but at the same time, I don't even think it's necessary. I do think it's very much a be truthful, I killed a man. Like fucking
Here's the question.
most of the Vesk at the time would probably be forced to obey me just for the sake of rank and structure.
And keep in mind, you are like second in charge of his division, right?
Yeah.
You're his lieutenant essentially.
I mean, I think you've even got a perfect excuse, because you could always say he was about to suicide our Vesk fleet for no reason. What an insane fool.
Self-stature. Yeah. I'm glad that was my exact plan, to be fair.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
so that's that. If you're gonna do it,
Yep.
now's the time. I think. Yeah.
like I said, literally at the point in time they would be forced to obey my command just via rank structure. The repercussions would be after the fact. Like,
Do we have evidence of his plan?
I mean, I think it's probably like fleet known at this point. There's probably already like assembly orders at this point.
Whether or not they know why
Yeah.
they're doing it, or like the outcome expected, or what they're actually up against, is maybe a very
Check.
different story.
That's simple thing to do. Like, start asking questions of anyone you can get in contact with. Make sure that it's
And guess
known.
what you have connections to as the second in command of Demogesh's division of the Viscarium? A lot.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Can we, have a wee chat with him maybe before you kill him? Get him to admit that he's going to sacrifice all these lives, and then we just broadcast that live over the fleet.
Cool.
Boom, War Hero
Sounds
2.
like a
It's just
sounds
like
like a
every
plan.
this is like every 80s or 90s action plot to reveal the bad guy,
Yeah.
and like was it Batman Returns as well? With recording the Penguin.
I mean, it's simple.
I've
but
played
it's
this
effective.
stinking city like a harp from hell.
Right, he's the sort that will grandstand for that.
Mm.
There will be some die-hard followers that won't work on, but like I said, I'm pretty sure we can deal with those.
Confession of guilt followed by you beating him. I'd say that you then have might and honor.
Well, it's about as ballsy a plan as any.
This is gonna go so badly. I'm really looking forward to it.
So you walk in the room with Demogesh, and he's having a meeting with 3 goblins.
I thought I'd say,
Oh fuck, man! Oh man, no, we can't have the goblins, mate.
Demogesh opens his trench coat, and out falls 3 goblins.
Fiends, fucking 3 fiends.
Who knew Demogesh was 3 goblins the whole time? Yes. So, anything else you want to
Still,
discuss?
I know who hired them.
Right.
Did we ever find out who hired the goblins? I don't think we did.
No.
Like, who hired the
No,
goblins?
you
I
just
think it
released.
was the Drow. I think the Drow hired the goblins, and they were just like, "Fuck
I was
it,
gonna
they're in
say,
the way. Let's kill them."
like,
Maybe it was, yeah, it makes
The
sense.
Drow
Yeah.
held them captive, and it did seem, logically, he's not wrong, it seemed like it would make sense if they were the ones that captured them. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know, but it did seem that way, right?
Yes, it makes yeah. You can just cast I solve the crime, and I'll just say yes. So there you go.
Right, good to know. Good to know.
One less mystery to do
Yeah.
with, one less side quest. I'm doing it. So
Sounds
yeah.
good.
So at least that establishes why they're going to Traxxas even more so now, right?
Mhm.
Doubles down or triples down on the Triaxis, since that's where the Vesk fleet were above. Right. Anything else you want to say in Brain Speak?
Nope, not for me.
No.
I think we said plenty.
Okay. Anything you are saying in the room before you like depart the room that you are in? It's Lyco and Zig, obviously. Because you know that they'll have signed off saying we're about to jump into drift, blah blah blah. Alice is okay, blah blah blah. Probably
we're-
all
I
those things.
totally said all those words.
Yeah.
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 Totally said them all.
I heard them.
Yeah.
No, I think we're good.
It's quite like there's like a weight to that like conversation as well, because it was just an extra bit of like this could be Zora signing themselves up to write themselves out, like Zig has signed himself up to write himself out. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
finalistic choices being made by the characters, which is good in terms of finale building.
I'm the only one that wrote a will.
Yes. Tanida also made plans, right? She made arrangements too.
Best don't write wills. They're no deed until they're deed. You
Yeah.
see.
You need to get yourself a better solicitor.
I assume that's what it's like.
Is that your new business plan? To listen.
Will writing for adventurers.
The secret clause where you just gain all of the possessions if nobody can claim it. Yeah. Okay.
I
So
call it the Goblin Clause.
yeah, the fiend clause. Okay, so after you have that like moment of like I guess was it solemnity? Is that the word I'm looking for? That doesn't sound
Yeah.
good. Is that right? Yeah, I think like solemnness is the word I wanted to say,
Columnist.
but yeah, solemnity. It's
I
a
like
good
it
name,
better.
it's a good name for
It
a
certainly
ship
is
as well.
a word.
Mhm.
I think it's probably the word you're looking
Yeah, I think so. It felt right when I said it. But yeah, the door to the room like opens, and in walks a like Kasathan in like what looks like a kind of like a uniform of such, like probably the uniform of like the staff or like the crew of the ship. They walk in, obviously they get their mouth covered, etc. They get two of their hands because they obviously are wonderful four-handed people or four-armed people.
Forewarned is
Yes.
after all.
Yep. I'm glad we're hitting all the bingo options.
Yep.
Perfect. And they look to the two of you and goes, "Which one is Officer Lyco Quint?"
That would be me.
And I assume that makes you Zig the Burning Sun.
Zig like just nods very wisely.
Okay.
Sagely, I think is the word you're
Sagely,
looking
that's
Not
the word I was
sagely
looking
is
for,
definitely
thank
the
you.
phrase you're looking for, yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer that you said like wisely though, it's just
Wisely
it's-
is funny.
That's
to
how
be fair.
Zig like sees it. That's how what he would say.
nods wisely.
Yes.
Then possibly like shuts his eyes and sneezes. So yeah. Adorable. So the Kasathan, like they haven't introduced themselves or anything. Like if you had to guess at rank, they're maybe like somewhere like on the commander like scale. So reasonably in charge of people, not quite captainy level. Somewhere in that kind of like they carry themselves with an air of authority anyway. So I am to escort you to our guest. And do
When
you
you
have
say escort
and yep.
you, is that the collective you or?
You see them roll their eyes, and obviously they scream because we have to hit all the bingo cards. Glad we're getting all them in. And then they say, "Do you wish to be separate?"
I think it's best that he be. Well, he can be very useful.
There's a look with like a raised eyebrow ridge to you, Zig. And I look back to you. That we assumed the psychic was the one performing the interrogation.
Oh yeah, I mean he's the psychic, but he's not a detective.
raises another eyebrow at you, and then just like looks down at the data pad they've got in one of their arms and just taps a couple of things on it and goes, "Indeed." And then just stands waiting.
Oh, please.
And then, like, one of their hands that was folded behind their back just gestures towards the door as they take a step to the side, still holding their data pad in their top two arms.
I will just head on through.
Zig follows with hands clasped behind his back.
Yes, wisely.
Trying to look at, like, you know.
Also, can I just remind everyone, for visual reasons, that I have like the Undead Legion armor from Dark Souls 3, but spacified with a Call of Duty skull mask, which he's not wearing right now because it's digital and weird. But he looks like a ridiculously cartoonish undead villain character.
I love how you called like Emma O that, and you're visually representing it though.
Yeah, like he does not look like a cop. He looks like a scary undead space knight.
Oh dear.
I
So,
just
like,
think sometimes you need to remind people just how fucking odd we all look.
Yes, I love it. See, just anytime you get a party lineup visual in your head, I love it.
He looks like American cops wish they looked.
He's a living embodiment of the Punisher logo.
That ain't actually that far off.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am the arsenal. Yes. Fucking hell. Right, anyway. So. You both follow, you go to the door, and as you're about to leave, you hear, like, as they're looking down at their data pad, you just hear them say, "Have you left any belongings behind? You won't be returning to this room."
Just look at Zig.
Zig just shakes his head.
Nope.
Okay, just like taps a couple of things on the data pad, looks up, and then just like follows out, and then like the room kind of like seals behind them, and then off they walk down the corridor. They just like at this point they then step in front of you both, and they kind of take the lead. And they said, "I understand that your curiosity may overwhelm your journey to this location that I'm escorting you to currently, but I do advise you stay close."
No problem.
Zig nods.
You can't see because he's walking ahead anyway. He ain't looking
Yeah,
back.
that's fine.
Yeah,
He's-
I like nods wisely.
I am following, of course.
Wisely.
And like yeah, like they're making like a decent pace, you know, because Athens are relatively tall. And you're led through like quite a significant journey. Like it's probably like maybe like a half hour, maybe give or take. Like again, like maze of corridors. Again, you can tell it was like the internals of a ship primarily, rather than the city that you're getting glimpses of every so often from like different viewports and whatnot within the kind of corridors you're navigating through. Does anybody read Kasathan out of the two of you?
I don't think I do.
It's not in my language list.
It's not
So I'm
necessarily
gonna
something you don't have a reason. Like you were a space cop in. I mean, you have a reason to have. Like you also like worked under Babak for years.
Yeah.
Like you would have a reason if you
Okay.
wanted it. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like
character for you, but I feel like Lyko is also the type of person that'd be interested in Kasaf, just because
it
they're a
does
mystery.
make sense to a degree. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to double check my character sheet because I don't know if I have enough room to fit it in the Starfinder thing. Like, because you know how quickly that fills up. So let's see if it's actually on that, because if it is, then absolutely I have it. If not, then I'm going to say I don't.
Okay.
Although he's right, I do have spare languages, and it would make sense. So
I think so. It's just
people
never
are
really
okay
come
with
up.
that. Let's just say I have it. But
Yeah.
They're one of the system's biggest like mysteries and conspiracies.
I worked with one of them, and
Yeah.
it absolutely. Oh my!
For me, it was
God,
literally
my
that you worked with
PDF isn't
Babak.
opening.
Like that was literally my
So-
reasoning as well. Was you worked with the most public Kasathan. Besides, like
I
they're
think-
politicians, right? Like as we discussed, Babak is one of the most public figures.
Oh, hold on. I have it open.
Oh, word. Oh, answers.
Oh my God, my languages are even more out of date in this one. Okay, let's say I have it.
Yes, I figured as much. Yeah, like the sheer volume of different like research subjects and like lab options that you had, like you're kind of getting the impression that that was maybe like almost like a bunk for a lab that you were in, rather than an actual room. As such, despite it being quite, again, upmarket. Everything looks pretty sleek, super clean. I don't know if you remember the Camino facility on Star Wars Episode 2 or whatever, like the kind of like really, really super clinical looking.
Yes.
Like it's not as blindingly bright as that, but it is that similar vibe of just everything looks super sleek, super functional. People that need like consoles and stuff, remember like the station, the Baskerville Research Station, and the consoles weren't like visible. They just walked up to the wall and the panels lit up, and projected what you needed. Everything's that here. Everything is very, very Apple Store, I guess, is maybe a quick summary of it. Yes. So, you're getting regarded by some as you are like being led through, but the fact that you are being led by this particular Kasathan does seem to indicate some form of, oh, that makes sense. Like that's the kind of look that you're gauging on people as you go by. Like, oh, that's unusual to see non-Kasathans. Oh, they're with them, okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just immediately dismissed because it's as if the curiosity is there for a second and it's gone. Yeah, like beyond that, I don't know, do you have any questions on the way there? Like, you are just learning that the wing you seem to be in was like primarily dedicated to research, it seems.
Yeah, did I get any indication of what the research might be about?
The fact that you've passed
Bones?
like that many like different almost sectors of research. It covers very varying topics of science and like study. There is
so it's just a general.
This is almost like a micro
thing.
city of like labs dedicated to that. So think of like going to like the shopping district on Absalom. This is like the research district in the Adari, right? It's essentially like a massive like shopping mall or like mini city of that. The amount of topics, like honestly, you could say, oh, are they studying this? And I'd be like, probably yes, right? Like they're studying everything. There's nothing that obviously jumps out like study-wise other than just the sheer variety of topics, and it doesn't seem to be in an order you're aware of. Like it isn't, even necessarily related fields. It just seems to be whatever that space was dedicated to research-wise. Which makes sense for a ship that's like internally modular, right? Like when you're like a city.
Also is like it's a city, as you say, rather than like a research ship dedicated to a specific mission. It's probably going to have a pretty broad remit.
And remember, this is like housing in very, very lukewarm ways. This is the current temporary Absalom, remember? Like, ships aren't allowed to just like undock and wander around like they would have on Absalom, or like, sorry, dock and then wander around. There's like very special dedicated areas, labeled quarantined areas, for the ships that need to dock here and like go about their standard, it's fulfilling the Absalom function bare minimum. And I think I said that many sessions ago. Like the Adari was willing to do that, but they weren't willing to let people wander through their ship. They were willing to just say, that hangar is good enough. Let's make that like an emergency shelter idea. But they were still willing to like help repair and tend and trade and all that standard stuff they would have done on Absalom. But obviously it is. The Adari isn't as designed to do that as Absalom, so it has been adapted somewhat to try and like assist as best it can, but you can tell the idea that they could just like pull the cord and then fly off appeals to them. They aren't looking to become the new space station of the system in the wake of Absalom. So you walk for a bit, you get less and less populated the area as you are going at the end of the half-hour walk. You definitely feel like you've covered a lot of distance in this, and yeah, like maybe people like walk like at varying paces as well. It's almost as if the floor does seem to be adjusting like the friction it's capable of, almost like what are they called? I can't remember the exact term for them, but the kind of the flat escalators.
Flat escalator things.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the ones you sometimes like see. I've supermarkets, not
Airports.
Like airports and
supermarkets.
stuff.
I said supermarkets.
I know.
I meant airports.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
fine.
me.
It's almost as if there might be some kind of like level of tech involved, but you know
Yeah.
that the Kasathans are very skilled at hybrid tech, so that's probably why
Yeah.
you aren't noticing it. But clearly, people can get around this chip very efficiently.
There's maybe also we don't want you to linger here, so you'll just move
Yes.
quicker here, whether you want to or not.
You also get the impression that they seem to all have stuff to do. Like nobody seems to be loitering, right? Or like chatting around the water cooler or anything like that. Like it is just people in passing and oh, that's odd, and then moving on. Do you know what I mean? It definitely seems very functional. The Kasathan like experience you're having thus far. As I said, you get less and less populated area. Barely passing any Kasathans, and then you get to like an area that has like a Kasathan outside it, obviously armed, no pun intended, and they just like salute. The escort use have nods, and then they leave. And then again, the signs for this area are still like research, but it's unassigned research. Is what this area is like designated, which is an odd title, but you know. Yes, and then the Kasathan that escorted you so far turns round to both of you and says, "Do you have an estimate of how long you will require? I assume privacy is paramount here."
It would certainly be preferable. As for time, sort of just give a half shrug. How long can you give me?
Again, there's that really kind of attitude that you can see coming from this one, so they kind of like half roll their eyes again, so there's a half scream this time. And then they say, "For the purposes of us shutting down our surveillance, I am not willing to accept longer than 1 hour of," and then you can like air quotes very like patronizingly, "of blindness in this sector."
Okay.
And kind of just looks at you as if, is that good enough, basically. But they're not saying that,
Yeah.
they're just giving you that look.
That's like I say. It just says okay.
Do you require anything to assist?
Are there coffee machines?
The room is functional.
Fantastic. Then I think we're all right to go.
We shall see. They nod. And then they like gesture on the wall. Again, the holographic control panel appears. You can tell enough from like the quick glance that you get at that it's like a command level interface that came up rather than just a generic door control. Clearly responding to this person's rank. You can probably work out that they are like, you know, if this is a ship with a captain, they are like the second officer, not the first officer. Right? So that's like, again, it's not what they would call it, but that's roughly where they are in the command structure.
But they're not forthcoming about this at all.
No, not at all. They've not even told you their name.
Or much of anything either.
Yeah. Like, you're, like, they've been told to escort you here, and they're literally going to, like, you know, rules as written, right? So yeah, they've not even told you their name or nothing. So yeah, they've escorted you here. It probably does, though, highlight the clout Babak has, though. Right? Given that they're entertaining this in the first place. And you've been seen to by the second officer equivalent, right?
Yeah.
So that's a thing. And then, like, the door like opens, and you can't see into the room, like there's like an antechamber type thing. And they say, "You will experience decontamination protocols. It will be mildly distressing if you were unaware of this."
Big nods.
Interesting.
And they gesture inside.
Yeah, go in.
Yep. So you head in.
Yep.
It's like, you too? Yep. Cool. They say, "I have locked the room for 1 hour. Surveillance will not interfere." And they speak of surveillance in that context of it definitely felt like they were saying the Department of Surveillance is not interfering, right?
Yeah.
And then they said, the room will unlock and I will be waiting here in 1 hour. You will not be able to leave the room before then.
Okay.
And they nod. And then the door seals. So you're in this antechamber together. Maybe exchange a nervous look as there's a click and then a whoosh. And then, like, essentially you're just in a giant hairdryer, probably. And then there's like a laser grid, I guess. That sounds sci-fi, right? A laser grid scans you all. There is a lot of readouts that come up in the decompression chamber. Most of it's focused on Lyco for obvious reasons. There's a lot of highlighted concerns. Again, Zig, you can see that there's a Lyco shape with a lot of red and lots of
I think Lyco is
symbols.
just sort of a little bit of a smile in his face just at that, and he's like looking around to Zig like, yeah, these machines don't usually like me.
And then it comes up with a, do you wish to skip this warning option on the display? Because it's obviously pending the fact that it can't decontaminate Lyco.
Yeah.
So, and you can see that on the control. Yeah, you tap it.
I just hit yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's the equivalent of risks accepted and overridden comes up, right? Basically, it's on you now. Yeah. And then you hear like the lights go back to normal, the grid disappears, etc. The kind of panel disappears, and then there's like a click behind you for the door.
And interested to discover what the what exactly the decontamination for. What do you think we're bringing into here that we're concerned about? Anyway, turn around.
Yeah, and you walk into
Light.
the door because of course Lyco does, because that's something we've not played on for ages. Is that sometimes
Yeah, I take a step back, rub my head, and clear my throat, and then try again.
Yeah, and the door opens. Yep. Yeah, like there's a room looks a bit lab-like in function, but very like sparse. At one side, there is what looks like a glass wall, and on the other side of that wall sat like I guess on like the edge of their bed is Shakos, looking pensive as all hell.
Yeah.
And, like they don't turn initially. They say, "More tests, is it?"
After a fashion, I guess.
She like immediately like turns around, stands up, and is like, "Quint."
Yeah, how do you react to that?
Like,
you know what? I
it's
know
very
exactly what I'm
abrupt.
gonna
It is
react
like
to
a
that.
very abrupt Quint.
Pretty much.
You look like shit. What happened to you?
Do I? Anyway.
And she walks up to the glass. And like there's like a half desk at one half, a half desk at the other half, as if obviously trying to make it look like there is no glass. Then she sits down at her side. She goes, "So this is weird, right? Being visited in my new."
Yeah, it's weird for me, for us. Zig, right?
Yeah. She kind of waves as well. Like, in that kind of, well, this is an odd situation that just got odder, right? Like,
Are there multiple seats in our side?
Sure.
Cool. Because I'll go and take one and sort of just gesture to Zig to.
Yeah, Zig will climb onto the chair and.
So, I've not been able to get a straight answer in this, so I'm just going to come out and ask you.
You hear
What
like
the hell's
noises
wrong
of
with
like
you?
Zig's chair just adjusting to like suit the Asoki size.
Anyway.
And then she looks at you and she rolls her eyes, and of course they scream. And she says, "Quint, why are you here?"
Do you need to ask?
She kind of like smiles, like self-pleased in a way, and like a bit cheeky. And she says, "Is this rescue number 2?
That depends if you need rescuing. I
She
mean,
she
doesn't
gives you a look
great.
that you're not actually sure what she's like saying, right? She definitely gives you like a look as if she either means yes, I need rescued, or we'll see, right? Like again, that's what you're gauging on it. It's quite, and again, I'm factoring in the assumption that you know her very well, right?
I think well enough to pick up on this sort of thing.
Yeah,
I
like-
mean, to be honest, given my roles, even if I didn't know her at all, I'd probably pick up on it.
That's what I mean. It's why I'm not making you roll. Like this is assuming you rolled the best you could have, right? This is
Yeah.
like the level of she isn't sure if she's in danger here or better here, right? So yeah, cheers.
Well,
On you go.
sorry.
On you go.
I was gonna say, well, we come in here, they decontaminate us. That suggests to me that even with this, gestures at the glass, they think you're genuinely at risk from exposure to us. And as far as I know, there's nothing particularly dangerous about exposure to us.
She looks you up and down and gives you like a look like, really?
I mean, whatever it is that they think is what. Yeah. I guess let's start with that. I mean, what's happened? I know that you. He sort of like deflates a little bit,
Mhm.
hand slapping the thighs, like.
And she like sits up a bit in the chair and goes, "What happened to you, Lyko?" Like genuine concern in her voice, right?
Been since I last saw you. I guess I've lost track.
Your eyes are nice. She gives like a half smile and shrug.
Thank you. I
Zig shifts uncomfortably in his chair.
I'm told I don't
The
look
chair
quite
adjusts.
like myself anymore. Actually, screw it. I'm pretending. When I come in the door, you're right. I don't look like me.
She kind of just nods, like, of course you don't, like, type vibe, like she's known you a while. And she goes, yeah, it feels like a lot's happened since last time we've seen each other, but honestly, I don't even know where to begin. Who sent you, Lyko?
Back.
You see her posture shift immediately. She goes, right. Is he here?
I lean forward onto the desk, sort of like hands together, propping up on the chair. Probably. He was.
She looks around the room as if you watching, that kind of suspicious look.
He will be. Come on, we've been told no surveillance, but I think that means no interruption.
She gives a look like it's an uncomfortable acceptance, right? Like she understands that is what they would do. So, she doesn't blame the Kasathans for doing the same.
You know where you are, right? They haven't tried to hide that from you or anything. We're in the Adari.
She just nods and goes, yeah, I had an idea.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, what a great way to see it, huh?
Yeah, I guess you probably haven't had a tour. Not that we did either. Frankly, they don't want us here. It's pretty plain.
And just nods.
They want you here,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
She kind of like sighs and goes, they said you were involved in my... She kind of like looks for the word and goes, recovery?
Yeah.
What's that about? You going soft? She smirks again.
I
you can tell she is trying her best to try and put on like a front of, look, things are normal, right?
Yeah. I thought we could help, and maybe we did.
She gives you like a reluctant kind of nod, as if, you know, you can tell she genuinely appreciated it, right? Like the idea that you're still looking out for her. Like, she clearly likes that. She just doesn't know how to articulate that, especially given,
Okay.
you know, the situation she's in. Very, very uncomfortable, obviously, in the situation she's in. Like she's doing that thing where she's like holding on to like her arm and stuff like that.
How do you feel?
Besides this, gestures to the room. She goes, I feel fine. I would say good. I don't think I feel like I've trained for a marathon I've not ran yet. Weird, right?
It is weird, yeah. A lot of weird to go around these days.
Oh.
Hey. The ID, Kivalari.
She clicks her fingers. It's like, ha! I knew that was why you were here. Can't let it go, can you?
Because it had to be, no offense, but it had to be you, right?
She sits back down. She like pulls the chair in and like leans and kind of copies your posture almost. She goes,
Okay.
yeah. What do you know about the Kivalari?
Weapon. Desk ordered. Intercepted apparently genuinely. But
You can tell there's like a lot going on in her face, right? She's definitely like processing a lot.
he is in very, very deep with certain aspects of the Viscaria, as well as his own people.
She kind of like does like a kind of a vacant nod and says, "Why are you working for him?"
I've always been no, not always. I was actually pretty by the book. I guess for a long time now, I've been willing to straddle the line, right? Ends justify the means, blah blah blah. And there is a looming apocalypse, which concerns me.
How's that going?
Yeah, good question. He's the only game in town right now.
Ah, better the devil you know.
Better than nothing at all. Yeah.
She doesn't look comforted by that at all, or she doesn't even look like she agrees with that. It's like a hollow
Probably doesn't.
sentiment, right? And you can like you just see her mouth the word hypocrite. As if she didn't like really have like it was like a involuntary response, and then she says, "What's with Zig?" And she looks at you, Zig.
Zig smiles.
She can't help but smile back briefly, right? And she catches herself and like
Yeah.
kind of dismisses it.
I'm here to. I'm Plan B.
Oh, good. What's Plan
Thumbs
A?
up.
And she looks super excited. Lyco sarcastically.
Zig is pretty psychic. Really very, actually.
Cocks her head again at you and then looks over at Zig and goes, "Okay, good for you, kid."
They don't entirely trust me to get straight answers out of you.
It's good to know I'm not the only one that's not trusted.
I I was not originally intended to be looped in on these plans. Whether they considered me unpredictable or thought I would act against them, I'm not sure, but maybe I was just an unneeded extra complexity. I don't know. But if they could have kept me out of it, they would have. But they were in a position where they could either do something about me or try and make use of me. And they're not idiots, so they did the latter.
A nod to herself, like trying to like piece things together. So yeah, plan A. Got a timeline on that? Does it involve me getting out of here?
An hour.
So does that involve me getting out of here, or?
Yeah. Truthfully, I have no idea. Zig's powerful.
She looks back at you, Zig.
When it
Zig,
comes down
Zig nods, kind of like yeah.
I'm pretty much just a guy, though. There's only so much I can. But I don't know. I know that they're going to be listening to this, and I'm going to be as honest with you as I can be, because, well, Babak knows me well enough to know that thinking. I don't think Babak expects me to go without complaint, to go along with everything without. I don't think he expects me to be a good soldier, or he would have looked me in his plans in the first.
Weirdly,
question is-
she was like, weirdly, I think that's actually why he likes you.
Well, I can imagine it might make me useful sometimes. How did you come to know what he was?
She kind of like breathes in very slowly and breathes out, and she goes, so. She babbles on about casework, right? Stuff that you're loosely familiar with or not, right? Just generic casework that at her level would have been like mediocre. Because remember, like we discussed, like she seems to have been like stuck in the same position for years. Like she hasn't necessarily been like push up, and she has been trying to look like the shiniest officer to prove that, you know, the racism of the system isn't, you know, accurate. And she mentions obviously getting wind about like weapons contracts being assigned from steward officials to Aspis. Right? So she talks about those. She goes, so I figured if I can crack a case involving Aspis and bringing down MOO, then surely that's worth a promotion, right?
But of course, when it's the bosses that are working with her, it doesn't quite work that way, does it?
You should have seen my face, Lyko. So when I saw Babak's name on that record, she shakes her head and goes, why? I feel like I was set up.
Maybe you were. I don't know, truthfully.
She shrugs and goes, why me?
Someone needed to be. But
She
then
shrugs.
something happened when you were on board. Something happened to you and not the others. I mean, something happened to them. Something really happened to them. Oi. But not the same something.
She kind of, like, you can tell she isn't necessarily following what you're meaning. She kind of, like, she just looks a bit defeated, like, you know, she thought this was going to be a good thing for her and it's kind of ruined her life.
Yeah.
She goes, also, just before we pause here just now, Callum, I don't know if you can give us like 15 minutes longer, but I am not too long in the tooth for this anymore, if that makes sense. You with us still, Callum? You not with us? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
give me 2 seconds.
No worries. So yeah, so she looks a bit like deflated by this. And And she looks up at you like, again, genuinely, again, that fondness she has just for your friendship that you had on the beat together. And she says, not eager to die here. I don't think there's anything wrong with me. They have quarantined me. It gives them certain liberties. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't know if you're familiar with the drow. She just shrugs vaguely. We don't respond well to certain treatments.
I have recently become aware of some of the eccentricities of your biology.
Give you like a funny look, like, been studying up on me? Like, as if...
Not
again,
you,
carefully.
actually, as it happened.
Oh, really?
There was crossover. It's it's complicated.
She kind of looks at you like as if, what are you talking about? Like, like, there's clearly more to that and she doesn't understand it. She kind of looks like, again, expectantly as if there's more to that story. That's okay. Welcome back. So she looks expectantly as if, what do you mean?
You're not the only drow that we know who has been experiencing some medical difficulties.
They're experimenting on more?
That's what you think?
She looks at her and goes, I'm a lab rat, Lyko. No offense.
Sure.
She looks to you
But
quickly.
there's testing and there's experimenting. And why? That is the question, isn't it? Why you? Why not just...
I know why. They think I'm infected with that bioweapon.
But they know what...
They don't know. She looks at you
Or they
like
don't.
severely.
Or they don't trust Naracus.
Also, I might have missed your audio a bit there. It felt very broken. Did you hear me okay?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Because obviously she said they don't know, is what she said back to your, like,
They, meaning...
She means they, like, you can pick up on the fact that she means the Kasathans around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't think this is... That's interesting. That suggests perhaps things aren't as tidy as they'd made it out.
She nods emphatically. Like, now you're getting it type attitude from her.
And if I were the Kasathans, I probably wouldn't trust the testing of Naracus. He is staggeringly amoral. I had an interesting conversation with her recently.
It cocks ahead and goes, you've done your homework, I see.
She's a monster, don't get me wrong, but she's quite personable.
Zig nods in agreement.
And
Her
Shaka's
work
just
is
like,
thorough. She does what she does well. But of course, why would you trust her? I mean, especially if you're the Kasathans, like why would you take her word for it that it works, and who you say it works on and doesn't work on? Doesn't work in Vesk, but does it just not work in Vesk?
She leans in and goes, no, Lyko, you're missing the obvious point I'm trying to make. The Kasathans could have made a better bioweapon.
Of course.
They didn't. Babak chose. And she leans in like as if, like...
They're keeping their hands clean.
Why? Right? Why, Lyko?
Fall Guy.
She doesn't look like she's pleased with that answer, right? Like, she's just like, ugh, is that it? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can tell she feels like there should be more to it.
There might. There's a whole picture here that I might be missing, but if I were them, yeah, all the connections in the world can be drawn, but it's a different matter if the rogue leader of the stewards does something versus if they do it themselves. But what am I missing?
Shakes her head and shrugs. Because besides my company on that side of the glass, I'm not sure. So what's
I
the
do
plan?
miss you. You know that.
She smiles at that, like briefly, but she is very much implyingly like, how do I get out of here? What's the plan? I know you came with a plan.
I came. Yeah. What's the plan? Well, I guess that depends. Can you play ball with the new order?
She gives you like a confused look. You here to turn me?
I think if they're convinced that you were honest and you were just trying to dig out what you thought was a juicy corruption case, then I don't see why he'd be any more against you than he was against me. I mean, yes, admittedly, your people are not as well liked as some other groups, but have you looked at me recently? The Barai generally aren't the best looked upon either. But
You know that you and her
think-
sympathised that way because obviously the way people
Yeah.
treated her as a drow versus the way obviously people have treated you as a Barai.
I think there is room for you to take maybe even a different role. Who knows? I would note that it's interesting that they've decided to lock you up here rather than lock you up in a stewardship, and I don't think it's just the Sathans who wanted that. I think it's what the stewards didn't want.
I don't think there was a conveniently available stewardship given what's going on out there.
They'd find room in one. Besides, teleportation.
Kind of just like shrugs at that. You can probably tell like her mind is still like fixated on this. Like, surely it must have meant more, right? Like that was.
There is something that's been bugging me. Those mysterious species in our damned, probably not even from our, certainly not from our star site. Maybe not from our. Christ, maybe not from Christ. maybe this. Maybe not even from our galaxy.
By the zeitgeist.
The Vesk stumbling upon this weapon, fine, that makes sense. The Greys just happened to walk into this.
She shakes her head and goes, the Vesk didn't stumble upon this.
No.
It's a convenient recovery.
Yeah.
So the stewards can legitimize their claim on that weapon.
Of course. But it's all.
Like,
It's
I
also
look guilty
mundane.
as hell on the Kivalaria. I shouldn't have been on that ship, and I was. I'm their fall guy if this goes sideways. Why do you think they're keeping me here in pristine condition?
That
What
makes
if
sense.
there is no if? What if it's a when this goes sideways?
I mean,
Doesn't look
it is
comforted by that at all. Her face almost drops a bit.
I've already.
He's like just kind of scratching his chin, and he kind of like more idly says that out loud than
Yeah,
to anybody.
wisely is the phrase you're looking for.
Yes, wisely.
And wizenedly. Like, what are you going to say?
It's just. It's inevitable. I've told him that. This is not. You can't trust the damn. He's working with the enemy. He knows he's working.
Who is that these
What does
days?
he expect? So long as the Viscarium would like to conquer the Pact Worlds, it's still the Viscarium.
How's your best friend, Captain?
Happily retired for the time being. For asking.
She just gives you that look as if, bullshit. Like, that's like the entire posture she's got. Like, I think this is one of those episodes that highlights the how many fingers Lyco has and how many pies, given everything you've just name dropped in this conversation alone, never mind everything else we haven't covered.
Also, mentally, I'm just going to say, Zig, is her being on the other side of this an obstacle for removing her from here? I think it probably means more spell spots to use, but hey ho.
I don't think so. Hold on. I'm just going to double check that if I need to be touching people to make a thingy. I do some light reading.
She looks at you like while the upstairs is happening, and she says, "You've been busy making friends, I see. Then around the system, you mentioned the drow."
Yeah, well, that's difficult. We have an ally, prominent person, among your people, I suppose, and
I guess
she's
Queen Lanterel. She is saying this like so mockingly.
Queen something.
I feel like I look like what the fuck. Like she doesn't know what you're getting at.
Aiko smiles.
You can tell like Shakos is sick of your bullshit already.
I do mysterious so damn well, don't I?
Yes, and reassuring even worse.
I don't have a lot of reassurance to give. I don't understand exactly what they're doing, but your assessment of your situation seems reasonable. Why did you go on that mission? Did you just expect that
Try to tell me you wouldn't have went?
I might have handled it a little differently.
She'll ask you, we can't all be the great Lyco Quinn.
I don't know how great I am, but you tried to do things the right way. I give you props for that. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I do as well. But I guess that's one small difference that maybe makes me a little bit more their
She goes,
speed.
Lyco, I put up with all that shit for years because I believe in being a steward.
So do I. I really do. But I'm willing to cross lines that some people aren't.
And the moment I step out of line is the moment I get beaten down. You seem to be promoted. That doesn't seem fair, does it?
No. I guess my condition makes me a sort of fall guy of my own. It's a very different kind, but someday I guess they expect someone to turn around and say, look what this crazy undead thing has done, and they will just say, well, of course, we'd never condone it. It's clearly some sort of terrible mutation. He's gone wild. It's not our fault. We wash our hands. I've got a built-in excuse. I'm a monster.
She's like, her like face doesn't change from like the kind of feeling sorry for herself, but like enjoying the company of a friend like posture that she's got with you just now, right? You can tell she's still taking comfort in you, and like there's no flinching when you're like, "Oh, I'm a monster." Like she has never seen you that way. Again, because your actions have always spoke to her rather than, do you know what I mean, appearance or anything shit like that. Or
Can I? Where are the? I wonder if I can show you. They scanned us when we came in here. You should see. You should see what. Yeah, I'm a time bomb, right? That's what they see. They fully expect me to go off one of these days and are quite happy to disown me when I do. But for now, I'm useful to them. You should really see those scans. It's I'm used to it by now.
I'd love to see those scans, Lyco, from that side of the glass. Like a smirk.
Zig
Yeah, Cal. Yeah.
brain speaks to Lyko, obviously. So we can make a bond with her through the glass. That's no problem. However, in order to teleport with them, we need to be on that side of the glass. Luckily, this does use up a lot of resources for me, but
Have a wee sleep. It's
we
fine.
could teleport to the other side of the glass and then teleport to a planet. If we make a telepathic bond with Shackles.
Can you phase through stuff?
No, I'm not a phasey bond.
That's the
Oh.
other one.
Because I can.
Another one. Oh, can you now?
Yeah.
Can you
Does that
phase
help
through
in any way?
stuff? No, because in order to teleport you guys, I need to be touching, so I would
Yeah.
still need to teleport to the other side of the glass.
Hold on, let me just fire it into. Yeah. It's not like
Let
I
me
can
try
say
it.
something
Let me
with-
try some Matva tactics. I'm just joking.
Just wormhole in. Boys,
like,
boys,
Just give me a
lads.
camera
Guess what?
feed.
I've
Give me a
just found
camera
out.
feed.
I mean, all it is using an extra spell slot. It's basically just doing 2 things for the one thing. It's not a huge deal. Well, technically, it's doing 3 things. The making a bond doesn't really cost anything aside from losing the bond with everyone else.
What else should I ask her? I kind of didn't get an answer to the "what did you expect when you went on board" sort of thing. She kind of just went, "Well, of course I did," which fair enough, but it doesn't really answer the question. Should I sort of go more in on that? Should I?
You could ask, like, if you want to. Like, you could prod that if you want. It's like a valid point.
Yeah. Okay. I think I.
You
What was
acknowledge,
your-
you acknowledge what Zig said to you in your brain speak.
Yeah.
And then,
Mentally, brain nod.
Mhm.
What was your end goal though? Like when you came on board.
A bigger
laid
office
down
like
some
her.
evid-
She smirks briefly. Like, she knows what you're asking, but she's giving you a flippant answer, right?
I mean, really, like, who finds that and thinks, aside from me, but you kind of know when I was going to find it.
She, like, just exhales and goes, actually, I realize this is rescue number 3, right? She smirks to herself a bit of that as well.
I have
Yeah.
come in useful.
We'll see. She smirks again. She goes, Kivalari was meant to be my key to getting some respect in the stewards, and quite frankly, a well overdue promotion. I just needed Babak to not be as unimpeachable. If I implicated his involvement, people might investigate, they might discover the actual involvement. The fact that that's been covered up.
But then
Then the Greys happened, and she like leans back in the chair at that point, as if fucked her whole plan.
there was no way to account for that. But that's the interesting thing, though, because there's no way he or the Vesk could account for that either.
What
Cool.
if they could?
And, like, she looks up and she like clicks her fingers and points to you, Zig, and goes, yeah, what if they could? We don't know where the Greys come from. They might be part of the Viscarium for all we know. Ask your captain.
Okay. Can't right now. But I think there's another angle that might be worth exploring, which is that if there is a relationship there, what makes you think the Greys are the ones working for them?
She shrugs and goes,
These are
I don't necessarily think that. I'm just open to it. She shrugs again.
these are creatures with. I felt it when I faced them. They tried to do something to my mind. That fits with many of the stories. If they are psychic, we could have.
You can tell she's uncomfortable with the conversation, right, ever so slightly. Just as you're like mentioning all this.
It's possible that they're influencing people who don't even know they're being influenced.
She definitely shudders at that thought and kind of like shakes off, and she says, "That's why I became so suspicious in the end, Lyko. I couldn't account for most of my actions. The Greys got to me. I don't know what they did, but they did damage.
Fall guy.
As far as I'm aware, that's where you came in."
That makes perfect sense. That makes too much sense, actually. The Greys come in and make you do things that'll incriminate you.
Do you have any memory of what happened?
Must have known.
Only fragments. And we'll take a drink, right?
Yeah.
Of eternity, yeah.
Okay.
Can you share across this, Zig?
I can look into their mind at range, which I think is what we kind of
If
want.
he-
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
If he wanted to.
I have to touch to dump.
Yep.
But to take, I can do that.
Okay.
So I guess I would say that in brain speak to Lyko.
Well,
I could try and
Zig
if I can extract any more.
Zig could look into your memory if you'd let him.
You have to be willing, though.
Tails, at this point, what have I got to lose?
It's not always the most pleasant experience. He's done it with me.
Your mind.
She doesn't look comfortable. She was about to laugh
Zig,
at Lyko and then
Why
looks
would
to
you say that?
That was brain speak. Sorry.
No, it's funnier if it's not very sweet.
no. Yeah. He would probably just say that under his breath.
She got sharp ears, right? Like, no pun intended.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, she hears.
Hey, must
and,
be the money.
And she looks and she goes, there's that reassurance you brought with you then, huh? She goes,
If it helps,
it doesn't.
the
She
kid.
just cuts you off. It doesn't. She puts her hand up and he goes, it's fine, do it.
Okay.
Like, you can tell she doesn't give a fuck. Like, she has accepted defeat. As soon as she saw you, it was like, oh my god, I might get out. And since that hasn't happened in 5 seconds, she's now like, I don't think I'm getting out of here.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Zig closes his eyes and just takes a deep breath and just says, I try to relax.
She looks at you like very suspiciously, like, do I copy? Do I not?
I suppose they can choose to
Oh,
fail.
just try and
Even
look
if-
comforting at her.
Glowing cyan eyes, yeah. She like she kind of just like, I guess, sits back in the chair and tries to like relax a bit at it. And yeah, like, I'm not gonna make people roll for this. Like, this is a willing thing.
That's fine.
So,
Also,
can you make a will save though?
I certainly can try.
Perfect, thank you. So, as you describe how this looks like with you accessing the information this way, like describe like what the process is, like what is Zig experience, what's the special effects budget?
Okay. So I think it's one of those, he closes his eyes, he kind of starts to glow a little bit, that sort of like pulsating, just like kind of dull glow.
Mm-hmm.
And then, camera zooms into his face, his eyes open, but his eyes don't actually open, his like spirit eyes open, his psychic eyes open. And he like, I guess you get that sort of like tunnel vision effect into that fast like zoom with the fisheye effect going on into Shakas's face, and then they're in.
Like a vertical
well.
zoom, as I call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Mhm.
And then they get into. Well, I guess they're in whatever it is that happens next.
Yes, precisely.
Good answer.
Yes.
Mhm. Well described. You've played with me before, I see. Yeah. You end up in the same room you're in. Lyko isn't there. Like, in the sense that he is standing there, but he's like transparent, faded out, like a memory of Lyko being there.
Yeah.
There is, like, again, on the other side of the glass, Shakos isn't there, not even as a memory. Right? You are there on your side of the glass. At the other side of the glass is Thanaida.
Right.
Interesting. Because
Yes.
of course the Joe mind.
Yes.
That is really interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
And as soon as you see her, you're obviously like startled a bit, like as if like you were meant to go forward, as if ending up on the other side of the glass with her, you know, in spiritual, magical bullshit language. But you get like like shocked back into your side of the glass, and she just does like that warm smile that Thanaida always gives Zig, and she goes, "Stop." And you're immediately back hearing Lyko like halfway through trying to reassure Shakos.
I think Ziggs like goes from maybe having his hands clasped, like to hands like flat on the table, taking like a big like gasp of air, and opens his eyes and just kind of looks around the room.
Shakos is like, is it done? Looks to you like Lyko as if, is he okay? Like,
Big.
Zig says in brain speak, that was Thanaida in the brain.
But
Yep.
that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yep.
Like, not just a memory, right? Actually, you mean she was
No, that
actually...
was at least a fragment or a piece fragment.
yep.
Um,
Hey, drink.
or at least a piece like just set aside. Like that was actually Thanaida. That was not like a memory or thingy. That was another person, Thanaida, blocking my way to Shakos. Shakos.
Checkers, you know how we mentioned that we knew another drow who had some medical issues recently?
Raises an eyebrow, looks at Zig, like as if, you okay, buddy? And then looks back at you. Uh-huh.
You didn't have any brain pattern. It was like there was no one in there. We thought we could find someone similar enough that it seemed to help jumpstart things.
She looks a
And
bit
you're
more
back.
disconcerted. Yeah, like, this isn't comforting. Yep, mm-hmm.
You're you, right? You
Yes.
She's still in there though. She also walked away and is living her own life. Okay, unfortunate choice of words, Lyko.
Like, she getting more disconcerting, like, the more this goes on. She's like...
But she's... I just look at Zek again, like, she's still inside Shakos. Like, actually, genuinely, actively, in the moment.
Thanaida is...
As soon as are you saying that out loud, I'm assuming this wasn't brain speak?
He just goes like, Thanaida is. And
like, Shakos immediately, like, you know, puts her hand up against the glass really quickly. It would have made a thud if the glass wasn't that, you know, secure. She goes, Thanaida das Lador. Like, very immediate.
Is that her surname? She never actually told
The-
us.
The old queen. The missing.
Yeah.
She just laughs like manically at this point.
We found her in a vault.
Of course you did. Who else did you find? She's just laughing.
Well-
like this is now absurd to her.
I mean,
Is
we
this
mentioned that.
does this seem like this is
Do you want to
utterly
roll?
insane?
Do you
and
want to
guys
roll
are
culture, by the
joking?
way?
Like,
About the fact that she said
Yeah.
something you have never heard before.
Sure, let's get a culture roll.
Why not?
culture.
I pressed it. I don't know if it worked. It did.
Okay, yeah. In the probably minimum research you did into Thanaida, you probably learned that Dathlador is her like family name. Yes.
Okay.
It's just not something that was ever needed because of her status. And she never felt the need to use it with you guys ever, right?
Yeah.
You were immediately on
Yeah.
first name basis, so yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she seems to be inside your head.
Like, there ain't nobody in here but me. And I'm noticing there's a lot of me on this side of the glass still. Yeah.
This is. Zig,
So, like, as you're saying this, like, and you're looking to Zig, and she goes, how can some ancient drow queen put her brain in me and still be her?
Well, we know. Oh yeah, he's just gonna say it out loud. Fuck it. Well, we know that she can take on other people's minds. What if she can do the reverse? Implant a piece of her mind in
oh
other
no.
She kind of looks
A
to
kind
this,
of
and she goes,
Horcrux vibe
this
going
isn't
on here.
really
Continuity of consciousness. If it's not a clone, right? If it's not a clone, it's an extension of the self. I think you have more ammunition than you realize, because Thanaida is quite capable, and it would appear she thinks of you as her backup plan.
Zig's mind is also racing in terms of the possibilities of this being like a death backup plan type
so
thing,
Did she
and
screw us,
seeing
Zig?
what like
There-
can bits of her be downloaded into another person, and can bits of her be
So,
re-uploaded to,
before your brain melts,
sack.
before your brain melts, Lyko could cast Solve Crime. And I could
I
give
like
more.
a will.
Okay.
Where is my solve crime button? I don't remember.
Because I can give you more info, but only really through that method, right? I think everything else would be a bit...
Glimpse of, is it glimpse of truth or is it the other one? Let's
don't
press
remember.
glimpse of truth. As a full action, I can through seeing. No, that's not the one. There's the other one. It's by my specialization. What you call it? Thingy.
Glimpse of truth is your CSI moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
detective
yeah.
vision.
It's glimpse of truth is detective vision, right?
Yes. Detective Vision would be a fun character to play.
Yeah, that would actually be like a combination of me and weird.
Yeah, it would.
Operative. Hold on, I need to check this because I don't actually know where my book is right now.
That's
So
okay.
I'm gonna quickly look at the wiki.
Okay.
Uh,
How to cast Solve Crime.
detective. Right, detective insight. At 11th level, your incredible insights help you move investigations forward when mundane inquiries fail. Once per day, you can spend 1 resolve points and take 10 minutes pondering a mystery or quandary to gain an enigmatic insight as if you had cast divination.
Mhm.
Though the result is often presented as a cryptic clue.
Or a cryptid clue.
Or a cryptic clue. Or the Beast of Bray Road. Or Mothman.
Okay, so-
other options.
You gonna spend a resolve point and do this?
I honestly don't even know what resolve points are for, so sure.
Yeah. It's that other resource we often remember about.
I have 13 of them left. Is that a lot?
Sure.
Oh no, don't speak for yourself. I need all resolve points. That's more the way I use my abilities.
So, during this conversation, we're just going to say you did the whole thing through the conversation.
I appreciate that. Thank
Because we're
you.
not going to sit for 10 minutes as you stare and, like, I guess, like, bring out a marker pen and draw a conspiracy board on the wall. It's all connected. So, the vague clues I can give you. Zenaida had 2 versions of herself in her because of your bullshit time jank.
Yeah.
Yous know this. She clearly got rid of one that she didn't need that was detrimental to her health. So this isn't the banker that she borrowed information from in Comatose.
No.
This is the other timelines Zenaida when Zig rewound time.
Okay, that's interesting.
It means that Ramasethu couldn't merge her consciousness.
So she does only have one memory of a timeline per version of her.
So, the one Zenaida has both timelines in her head. She got rid of one.
Yeah.
Is the simplest way I think I can put that.
Is
And that gave... It's like essentially having, like, I guess, like a firmware, right? To work from. To put into Shakos.
This is, yeah. I think he's just gonna say this isn't part of her. She hasn't. I don't think she's knowingly screwed us here. Maybe she has. I don't know. But
I will say it doesn't feel like this is a Horcrux. Like it doesn't feel like this is a Horcrux.
This is the other timeline. The version of her that shouldn't exist anymore. She may not even know. What did Zenaida say?
I haven't spoke to her yet. In head,
no,
sorry.
I love it.
I just look at him. I just look at him.
Sorry. No spoke. That was exactly where my brain went. It was so perfect.
Oh, she told me to stop or don't. One of the two.
It was stop. She said.
Yeah,
it was the
yeah.
smile, the warm smile of recognition, and stop.
Yeah.
It felt like you hit a firewall. Is the best way to phrase it, right?
Whatever's in your head, she doesn't want us to see.
Like Shakos looks at you and goes, "Or this, if I'm to believe this, no offense to both of you."
Shrug.
And then she goes, "If she has given me whatever she had she didn't need so I could be me, maybe she doesn't want people messing that up. Maybe you poking around in my head's a threat."
That does make sense.
You can tell like Shakos is mostly I want to remain me, please don't, wreck that. She's had her brain messed with psychics, obviously the Greys. She doesn't really want... You're telling her her ancient queen has messed with her brain.
This might be why they're so interested in you. I know the weapon, but these guys, they're not just technologically advanced, they're mystically advanced. If they've been studying you as intently as it seems like, they've probably noticed there's another person kicking around in there.
There's only me in here, Lyco.
Zig shakes his head. Shig zakes his head.
Shig zags bag. Well, whatever the case, they probably heard everything we've just said. They probably knew it anyway, but whatever.
Oh, now they know we
Doesn't
know.
leave us.
She just like smirks at you, like.
Doesn't leave us with a great deal of options.
She looks at you and goes, "Well, in the absence of options, I'm all packed."
What I would then like to do is use another resolve point to just get up and walk through the glass and say, Zig, do you want to join us on this side a second?
I guess Zig jaunts over to Lyko.
It's such a like.
How's she reacting to this, by the way?
Just such a power play, isn't it? Just 2 seconds. I'll phase through. You teleport to me, then you teleport us out. Okay. This is what casual, like high level characters get away with.
Yeah.
Though. It's fun.
It has also just occurred to me that I won't need to break our telepathic bond if you.
Nice.
So I can just.
Because you can just take us with you.
Yeah, I can just take her with us if I'm touching.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how I can do that either.
So are we? I guess I'd check if I was able to jump to the captain first, and then if not, I would.
How would you check? Sorry.
I guess by trying.
Wouldn't you?
Well,
then
I would
go?
just.
I don't know if that's
I
a
would
good
just
idea.
brain speak.
So remember, they're in drift.
Captain, you there?
Yeah, we won't get them yet.
Still in
There's-
drift?
There's,
Right. Okay.
there's no connection out. Yeah.
That's fine. And then I guess I'd jump us to the planet.
Got drift, thankfully.
There is no
okay.
jump.
Interesting.
Clearly not, because I can't press it. Oh no, the wrong one. Yeah, I can't press it anyway.
It's okay. It's
I'll
obviously
mark off-
forbidden.
Anyway.
Yes. You definitely like funnel all the magic as you normally would.
Yeah.
It just dissipates.
Uh-oh.
And then I would just say, we have a problem.
Axis is blown up.
So,
Yeah, so I see.
sorry, the we have a problem's a perfect cut.
Yeah.
To move over to a slightly more pleasant ride through drift space.
Right, this would double it. Oh, fuck.
Right. And there is an alarm that goes off on the ship, as often there is.
What now?
And you guys are violently thrown from drift. Obviously, that we can spend the rest of the special effects budget on that scene. The same time, you guys in that room are gonna have an issue having like the Adari shakes violently. If we had an external view, all of like the ships docked with it and stuff snapped. The camera like zooms out more. The sun has a massive prominence feeding a direct line to Octurn.
Interesting.
The planet itself cracks with the energy, right? Like, almost like in like, two halves, if you will, and then like maybe like a smaller, like a bit like the peace symbol, upside down,
It
like
was
that
an
kind of video. It cracks, all this energy starts to swirl around it, and bit by bit, ships end up volleying into orbit around Octurn. The camera zooms into Octurn, and this particular individual performing a particularly elaborate ritual involving a star stone at its heart. You know that source where all ships jump to for drift?
Yeah. Yep.
That source is feeding from the sun of this system. It may or may not be cracking the planet quite violently. That's where we end the session.
Well, there you go.
This is fine.
Yeah. Everything's fine. What would you like to name the session?
You know.
Do I? Or is that the suggestion?
No, the open relationship with violence, which
Yep.
is one of the best session names I've ever heard.
That's a pretty good session. Now.
Who said that initially? Who
I was inspired to say an open relationship with violence. I said those words, but it was definitely based off something someone said. I feel like it was probably Alex.
Yeah, I think I said I was non-committal.
Well,
Yeah.
I was
yes,
not committed to
it was,
violence.
Yeah,
it's really strong collaborative effort there. Huge fan of the work. Yeah, let's go for that.
Okay. And also, consolidated and submitted by Alexander. In
By
chat.
one other Alex.
Mhm.
See, very rarely do collaborations work so well after hiatus.
Yeah, it was a 2-part Alex, 1-part Ryan process. Yeah. I like it. Good. So, as a mechanical reward for getting this far, everyone can pick a class feature of their choice they don't have already and just have it.
A class feature?
Anyone's class.
I mean, ideally, preferably from your own, but actually at this stage I don't care.
Such as? Like, when you say a class feature, let's try and...
And I mean that in the
this
least
down.
flippant way possible.
Okay.
So just apply that filter to that if you can, Alex.
Okay, Starfinder classes.
I would like it to
What
be.
about the
Sorry, listen. I would like it to
ability
be thematically appropriate to your character's journey thus far.
Can I get the Matva feature?
You want an upgrade?
You know that like fucking game breaking like hack that she's got that lets her like just fucking wormhole everywhere.
Sure, but I'll say it's not necessarily something I'm going to write down as a perfect rule.
Okay, that's fine.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with just being at something in sight, you know, something I can see.
But yeah, I don't mind that at all. If you want that to be your feature, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Matva feature. Let's go.
Matva's hacks.
Matva's fucking game hacks.
Right, yeah. So I obviously don't need you to necessarily decide what it is now, but try and make it again thematically in line with your character's development.
Okay.
And the equivalent BS of an existing class feature. These are all savvy enough to understand what all that means.
Like we'll get chicken legs. Like we'll get
I'm
chicken
not.
legs.
I don't want chicken legs.
Think how weird and fast you could be.
Exactly, man. You'd have your chicken legs.
I mean, in theory, they're still in the debris of Absalom if they didn't get destroyed, right? You know, just floating there in space, kicking away. Okay, what else do I know do at the end before we do wrap up? Is there anything else? I know we talk about goals, but fuck them. Like,
Yeah, what are the goals?
we know what our we know what the goal
goals?
is. The goal is fuck end the game.
Baby.
So yeah.
I don't even know who goes.
I don't know. We usually do goals. Usually do like a recap.
Well, as I said, we'll do that all. Like, we'll do the wrap up in a second. Anything else I need to work about? Anybody get any questions about that particular thing I've just said you'd all get for next session? No? Good.
I'm gonna have to have a look at it.
Also, keep in mind it could be because it's within the thematic development of your character, it could be another upgrade, right? For your necrograph stuff, it could be that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not fussed about it being specific a class feature. That would be the equivalent of getting a class feature bump. So yeah, and as I said, Alex, doesn't need to be in line with the class you are, but it does need to be in line with what you've done so far.
Yep.
Which I think is reasonable. So yeah, that's definitely something. Obviously, I'm gonna just assume that Zig has been made aware of all of this and understands. Given that he said he would keep the stream open on his phone, so here's hoping that is a thing.
Here's hoping the stream's open.
Yes.
You're welcome.
So, with that in mind, we'll just move on to wrap up chat. Okay, in the absence of not knowing what else to do. So, do you want to start us off, Alex?
No.
Okay, Nico?
My mouth full.
Okay, Colin.
God. Hello. I
Hello.
am not currently eating, so that helps. Yeah, it obviously very weird after having been away for what 6 months.
Yeah.
More.
So March
Some
to October.
amount of time.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we always have a bit of a catch up at the start, but this was definitely a longer one.
Mhm.
And yeah, trying to get back into it is hard, but I think we did a decent job.
I think that's why the long chat at the start was important, right? It warms everybody back up to like
Yes.
just asking questions makes your brain go, oh yeah, that was about this character that I've just remembered existed. Yeah.
And hey, we got like I think we got some progress. We actually did some stuff, even if it wasn't hugely eventful. Like yeah, turns out an interview scene's a lot of talking. But no, it was good to be back in the gang, and it was nice to have like I think we all got some bits of being us.
You were definitely all yourselves, definitely. Like it was nice to see that side of the characters come back through. Especially after so long away. It feels weird like jumping back into a character,
Yeah,
but like Alice and Chakos both came naturally to me, so I was happy with that.
So it was definitely like it was like I was trying to do something a little different. Like I've been leaning there in the previous sessions. I couldn't remember exactly how I've done it, but I'm trying to lean more into a Lyko who is a little bit tireder and a little bit more resigned. I think they got to, without being too introspective, maybe hint at the fact that he is increasingly aware that he looks less and less like Lyko Quint and more like some sort of spooky ghoul thing. And that he is physically very different and that he can do things that a human being shouldn't be able to do. And I think I've been trying to sort of like maybe play that up because some of the stuff with it all sort of coming to a head. Before we went off on our prolonged break, I gave the trauma bomb to Zig, and I asked Weird to make a negative energy bomb, and I think Lyko talking about how maybe they see him as a time bomb. I think that's actually maybe something that Lyko is seeing in himself. Like, at what point am I not Lyko anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's maybe aware that he's perhaps becoming more reckless or even just willing to. I mean, if he detonates a negative energy bomb of sufficient proportion, I mean, you're talking about a guy being willing to potentially cause massive loss of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly on his own team if need be. Yeah, I think it's interesting because as we're hurtling towards the conclusion, I definitely think that it just feels natural to sort of play him like, and I didn't plan this entirely, although it was sort of getting there. It feels natural to play him as someone who is kind of gone off the deep end,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
jumping off the slippery slope, as it were. He's definitely yeah, he's not the good guy. He knows that, and he is maybe kind of hoping that he can. I think let Zig for one be the hero, and let Cap have his retirement, and let Weird make a bomb, and sort of take it upon himself to be the one who does the dirty work, whatever that might be.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I think we're seeing, especially consider like the ending there, how thwarted and angry he's going to feel about that. I think we're seeing like a the bomb is about to explode.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely don't know where I'm going to go with that, but it's going to be fun to find out. It was good to see Alice back in Alice form, being very Alice, and how weird and awkward that always is.
I'm glad that it felt
No,
Alice
very
because I had no prep to like get back into the mindset of an NPC, so I was kind of glad she came back naturally because, yeah, she's fun to roleplay. Alice is a lot of fun.
but yeah, it was good. It was good to be back, and I look forward to seeing more of what's going on with that fucking situation, and to see more of what the guys are up to next time.
Themesies. Right. Nico.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
Good hello.
Welcome.
To Starfinder. The Fragments of Eternity. Session 120. No,
120, let's go, roll back.
just keep it going.
I was good to be back. It's good to be back. It's good to see Alice and Shakos in working order. Yeah. It'll be
Weird
good to
parallel with
murder,
them,
death,
right?
kill.
Very weird
Yeah.
parallel with them. That
Be
seems like it's
good
my understanding.
to murder, death, kill the. What's his face? What's his face? Dogesh? Yeah. So that seems like a decent idea still. We can get the tri-axis. Manual
Okay,
course,
sorry. To be fair, I should have said I'm not the only one going off the deep end.
Very true.
We definitely have our Praetorian Guard here as well.
Yeah, I mean, I might be giving up the old retirement scheme, which sucks, but I will.
Well, you know
Can't
what?
have cat girls on beaches all your life.
A sad realization Zora comes to when, you know, hero mode activates and you have to sacrifice yourself for the greater good of the galaxy, and that sacrifice is cat girls on beaches.
Beaches of S3 or whatever the fuck it was I said that one time. Like,
Yeah, was it 9 because of 9 lives? I feel like it was best 9 for that dumb joke.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh, that's funny. So, yeah. Enjoy being back.
Aye.
Yeah, just having fun,
Good fun.
being
Good fun.
the
Good fun
captain.
being just a lizard man.
Mm-hmm.
Actually taking a bit of responsibility for once.
Yeah, it was an interesting twist there, like being like, yeah, let's go and do this. It goes, fuck it, just kill him.
Oh, fuck it, man. Let's just take repercussions later.
It's like,
very
I don't
much that sort of
necessarily
situation.
want to be the leader, but at the same time, I don't want anybody else to be the leader, so I guess I want to be the leader. Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't else could do it right, so I might as well do it right.
I think not just us as players, but our characters are very aware that things are coming to a head, right?
So there's definitely that weight of everybody's choices, right? As I mentioned during the session, like that is definitely very obvious in how you're playing your characters. The weight of the plot is very visible, which I like. It shows that your characters give a shit about what's going on. It's good. It's good to see.
I felt really bad for Shakos. I forgot to say that.
Okay, no, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why
Yeah.
do you feel like bad for Shakos?
Because of everything that's happened
Yeah,
with her.
it's like really shit, isn't it? Like, do you also like?
Because of her life.
Yeah.
She's just been racially shafted.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that's a DVD.
Next session title.
Yes! Please upload that in YouTube now.
Go out with a bang.
Racially shafted. Final episode.
Comma
Yeah,
with
well,
the gang, right, Alex?
Oh, yeah.
That's the follow-up.
Yeah, like AC/DC, right? Back in Black. And a bang with a gang. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
so,
what that was a reference to, yeah?
So it was probably nice. So to go back to Lyco's comment there, or Colin's comment, not necessarily the more recent ones. The melancholy of her story ultimately being she was literally just trying to like do right by being a steward, looking into like wrongdoing as she saw it, and then ended up falling right into like, you know, the fucking, what do you call it, like mastermind games of all the power players, right? So it's not ideal. A very easy fall guy to pick, quite frankly. Much like you've stated yourself, you know, you fall into a similar like category. Isn't great for her, obviously. But but it also wasn't some like over the top ridiculous like crazy plot line either, right? It was just her getting involved in the wrong, like I guess snooping really in the wrong place.
Pretty sad, isn't it?
It is, yeah, like it is, and it kind of sucks. Like this is what's happened to her. Yeah, and I said like hopefully it makes a bit more sense now, like what Tanaida's entire involvement and all that like was, as well. Almost like her doing one nice thing for somebody right before she goes, or many nice things for many people probably as she would try. Yeah, you kind of learned her last name.
Although the fucking Greys are still a mystery.
Yes. Hey, Lich Detective Lyko needs to go.
He needs a plot line to follow, to be fair,
Yeah.
and it makes sense that it would continue on from the previous
Uh-huh.
one. Yeah.
Just
Sorry.
against the Greys. Yeah. So, yeah. Going back to Zora, any other thoughts?
Oh, all of that. Just good to be back.
Yeah. And Alex.
And obviously, it's a shame for Shakos.
Yeah.
That's quite a
Yeah.
shame. She has been kind of
Just being a good cop,
Totally.
for God's sake, right? Like she was literally
Yeah.
just being a good
Yeah.
cop.
done dirty. Just try to make her way as a cop, drow cop.
I hope we've learned an
Just
important lesson here. Never do your job.
Yeah.
It's an agreeable. It's an
Never
agreeable
do
lesson.
your job well. Yeah.
Never do.
Yes.
If
Never
you
be a tryhard.
do your job, you do risk the possibility of accidentally doing it well.
It's true. Actually.
So, yeah, I'd just warn everyone away from that.
With great
Uh,
job comes responsibility.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Anyway,
Yes.
it's a lot of fun to go back to.
Mhm.
It's amazing how quickly you just sort of fall back into all of our nonsense.
Instantly, like within seconds. It was
Yes.
great.
Yes.
I don't remember any of
And while everyone else is having their major plotting and everything, I got Alice back. And,
Yeah.
immediately returned to our Android, awkward,
Mhm.
coming of age, teen vibes.
It's nice. You're in like the YA like novel for half of your character. The other half is in like what like the fucking manifesto that
Yeah.
you're working on for radical change at a kind of metaphysical level. So yeah.
Yeah, with the body horror element
Uh-huh.
to it as well. It's kind of, I like to think about it as like a horror film, kind of with the big
The teen romance
body horror
elements to it.
mechanical nonsense. Well, I was just going to say, but it's from the perspective of the monster who doesn't realize it's a horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Uh,
great
it's-
cool way to be.
And just having his awkward teen drama, whilst
I
being
like
Frankenstein.
Weird and Alice and like Nyx 5 and Alice. Like I missed Nyx 5 and Alice as well. Like that was adorable.
Yeah, it's good to have her back.
Yeah, so it's nice like those little bits have come back as well.
And to put the captain back in his place.
Yeah, well, she's the
Always
first
out.
of the officers.
But no, it was and I do always enjoy Lyco's investigative nonsense. It's nice as well that he's got all these things that are like really useful for him. Because there is a moment when you've got Lyco and Zig in somewhere doing an investigation together. It's kind of got that Witch on Web feeling of Angel Summoner and the BMX Bandit.
Yeah, I like the BMX
risk
Bandit.
power difference.
And like it's why like I brought up because I didn't know if like Colin specifically remembered that ability. I knew he probably would, but I thought I know I can say more if you just use cast solve crime.
Yeah.
Like it's like, and I would rather be able to like say it now than never in the campaign. So it was nice to be able to like convey that little bit of extra work that Thanaida had put in for people. Again, helping one of her so-called subjects, right? Ultimately.
Yeah.
Yep, it was good to really have that opportunity.
people.
Yeah, even just the fact that like immediately as soon as she said Thanaida, like Shakos knew whether that's a residual memory bleed or not, who knows? But yeah, important. Which obviously there is that connection. Yeah, yeah, it was again like it was nice seeing everybody fall back into their roles. It was again, yeah, people doing exactly what they would be doing, just like no big dramatic things necessarily, other than just I'm a fix, the autopilot, get that working because that's what I'm good at. And
Get another Zig.
Yeah.
Yep. No good reason.
Yeah, the ship I just know it's like a really, really bright Zig now.
Which just is Zig basically. So.
It seems. I'm sure he'd try and come up with a logical justification for it. But
Zig would probably love it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
My God, you glow as well. Yeah, that's good. Anything else, bud?
No. I'm just looking forward to the next session in the next 4 years.
Yeah,
So.
I know.
4 more years.
I'll meet you all in, what is it, like, was it 25 years' time? What's the line? I can't remember the Twin Peaks line. Colin, you know
I'll see you in 25 years, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, we've got to come back for the movie as well.
Years?
Yes, we do need to come back for the movie.
6 seasons of the movie?
Yep.
To be fair, the Twin Peaks movie took about 25 years to be like critically re-examined and held up for the masterpiece it is, but well, not 25 years,
Same.
but like 20.
I still need to borrow that and recover my DVDs. But anyway,
Yes, you
aside.
do. We shall do that soon.
Yes. You've all got, as I said, the reward for this session, which was, again, the aforementioned feature of your choice.
Facts.
Yes, again, ideally run it by me at some point between now and the next time we run. We'll solve the next time we run when we're off air. I have no idea when that's going to be, but I'm excited to find out when we're all available. And
So am I.
as far as I'm concerned, I do expect it to be the last session next.
Okay.
Whether or not that is likely, I feel like it's going to be the last session next. So yes, we will do what we can to cram in as much as we can. And it will probably be like another slot like this if possible. If there is the opportunity or scope to have like a bigger slot, even if it's just an extra hour or two, I will obviously be open to that. Not necessarily at this time slot, but on like a day that suited everybody. I'm open to that just to have enough time to fully cram in everything that you want to do. Every single NPC you want to still kill, for example. In the montage that you want to do.
Post-credit scene, just like people getting shot from 2 miles away.
It's the post credits of Deadpool 2.
I've not seen that yet. Spoilers.
Oh no, it's just
I don't care.
non-plot relevant post credits because it's Deadpool. It's very good.
Yeah, so that's something that I think would be very fun. Just to make sure we can get enough time to properly send it off. But I do feel like that's as much time as we should willingly commit to it, right? So anyone that's still listening at this point, feel free to tune in next time, whenever that is.
Thank you for doing that, you weirdos.
Yes, also thank you for watching. That was very lovely of you. Again, shout outs to all the usual people. Siren, Matthew Brokener, thanks for joining us as well. Vildurus Sagitta, aka Alexander, thank you too. And everybody else that joined as well. Thank you all for playing as well. Always a pleasure. And
You're welcome.
goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye, Dr. Nick.